And I thoroughly enjoyed interacting with all my colleagues, all my faculty colleagues. Now, one thing that I would like to, I mean, it's more of a request from my side. Uh, we're all here in this profession out of our passion to transform students, to transform humans. So I think it's very important that we listen to the entire discussion that I have today, because I'm not going to call it a talk. I won't say it's a lecture. I would say it's more of interaction. So my request is that as teachers, we're all teachers. We expect that when we are teaching in the classroom, then the students should interact with us. So I think we should also walk the talk, and we should also make this session very, very interactive, so that everybody enjoys the session. Because if you don't interact, then even I don't feel very motivated. So I think it's very important that interaction is there. Now, I have a presentation which would be for like 1 hour or so, 60 minutes or the nearabouts. And we are supposed to wind up by 3:30ish. Around 3:10, 3:15, I will stop, and then I will take questions. It's not that I will take questions only towards the end, but you can keep asking me questions as and when, the presentation pans out. Before I start, if maybe one or two or three of you could just lay out your expectations, because this session is very specifically on leadership. Within leadership, we're going to talk about a particular typology of leadership, which is situational leadership. So can somebody spell out the expectations of this particular cohort from this discussion today? कि आपकी क्या expectations हैं? I mean, what do you think that you would like to know? I know it's a post-lunch session, so thoda sa people would be a little on the sleepy side, but
how to develop the confidence.
And
right. We should have a clear vision for that.
Yeah, agreed.
Positivity. How to keep positivity. This some of the qualities
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Some expectations?
Sir, we know the qualities of the leadership, but while executing that qualities, we face some problems or difficulties. So how we can, that qualities, how to use it practically?
So what I'll do, ma'am, is I will deliver a presentation based on the situational leadership theory. I'll try and give you some examples from different walks of life, people from politics, people from sports, people from award-winning, social workers, and so on and so forth. Towards the end, I will take you through a research model, which maybe you can also implement, you can test. It's a hypothetical model, you can test this model. And the idea would be that then I will try to take this to, I would like to culminate my presentation in the form of effective academic leadership. So that, I believe, would be one of the outcomes of my session today. And a lot of things I would be mentioning, you don't have to agree to all of them. Where you think that you disagree, please let me know. You can share your disagreements with me. But this particular session would be a success only if each and every one of you interacts as much as possible, right? And you'll have to carefully listen to the entire discussion. That's the only way you can, you can pick some areas of future discussions. So I'm assuming I have the rights to share. Yes, I do.
Sir, I would like to suggest one thing. To have leadership, one should have immense confidence. So I hope that you should also focus how to boost the confidence among the students and the teachers.
So, Swapnil sir, my session is very specific. I'll be talking about situational leadership, and there are some areas which I will not be covering. For example, confidence building, I will not be covering per se. It is not a part of my session. I mean, that will be leadership development. That's an entirely different thing. So I mean, my KRA, my mandate for this session doesn't include stuff like this, like developing communication or confidence. But let me share my presentation. Maybe you might find the answers to what you have in mind.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, towards the end, then we can discuss. I'm sure that, we'll come up with something very, very fruitful. I'm very, very confident. Because I've been delivering this talk to a few universities within India also. It's also a part of my consultancy. I have an extended leadership consultancy, which I do. And this is a part of that. So this is where we start, even in a consultancy, So this is like, because MMTTC is more about, it's a matter of honor for us. It's not about the payment you get. So otherwise, we have a consultancy, where we have sessions on situational leadership. Right, sir?
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
How do we handle criticisms or feedback from others? Wonderful. So I'll come to that. Brilliant. So you can still keep on writing your questions in the chat box, like Vaishali ma'am has written, how do we handle criticism and feedback? So please keep writing these questions, And my area is management. In management, we say that at times it is important to raise a question, even though you may not find an answer immediately. So raising a query, an intelligent query, is very, very important. And I think it's a wonderful question Vaishali ma'am has asked. So you can keep writing your questions. So as I said, let me take you through my, I got this presentation. Just a minute. So all of you can see my presentation now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. So is it okay if somewhere in the middle I speak a little bit in Hindi also? थोड़ा थोड़ा चलता है हिंदी?
Yes, sir.
Or pure Angrezi? Only you understand Angrezi? Or
No, Hindi is also.
Marathi मुझे नहीं आती. I know, most of you would be Marathi speaking.
Hindi is okay, sir. Hindi is okay.
So, okay, the topic is leadership, different strokes for different folks, which means that सबसे पहली गलती, the biggest mistake that we all make as professionals, that we believe, we tend to classify leadership into different watertight compartments. For example, we'll say that X person, Vladimir Putin, is a dictator. Adolf Hitler was a dictator. This prime minister is very laissez-faire style. This person is democratic. This person is a inclusive leader. So right and wrong, there are some leadership styles which can be classified in terms of stereotyping. Ki yaar, ye to na, he's a very difficult leader. He's a very dictator. Ye to, it's possible. But I believe, and research shows, that a majority of the effective leaders, I'm not saying efficient leader, I'm saying effective. Efficiency is different from effectiveness. Effectiveness means getting the job done. A majority of the effective leaders, what they do is they try to adapt their leadership style according to the situation. Okay. So that's why I'm saying different strokes. Folks means people. So for different people, you will have to have a different style of leadership. Okay. So for your research scholar, you will have a different type of leadership. For your undergrad student in BTech or BBA, BCom or BA level, you have to have a different type of leadership. With your colleagues, you have to have a different type of leadership. For your boss, when you're talking to boss also, then you have to show some leadership. So it will be different for now. The most effective leadership today is where inside you're a leader, but you think like a manager. Right? So these are, abhi thoda theoretical lagega, but we'll take up some examples. We'll try and clarify better. So you can take a screenshot of this. Deep inside, you're a leader. Okay. When you say leader, then there are certain attributes that you will have as a leader. For example, you'll take responsibility. That haan, galti hui hai, meri galti hai. But you also have the mind of a manager, which means you also would think as a manager that this is how I have to manage things. Right? Now, this is a very standardized and a very simple definition of leadership. Leadership is where you influence the behavior of other people towards accomplishing their goals. This is simple. So your job as a leader is to accomplish certain goals of the organization. Organization could be a college, a university, a school. It could be a commercial organization. It could be a mutual fund company. It could be a bank. It could be anything. It could be the police services. It could be a political party. So there are certain goals. So as a leader, you need to influence people that they have to accomplish or achieve those goals. And how do you do it? You do it by two actions. One action is support. So I will request all of you to write it down. First is support, and the second is direction. Some people need a lot of support. For example, अगर आपके कोई research scholar आता है, a new research scholar, that research scholar, she is in the first year of her PhD, will need a lot of support. And they will also need a lot of direction. कि सर करना क्या है? Similarly, let us say a new colleague has joined as a young assistant professor, and you are a professor, you're a senior person. आपको 10, 15, 20 साल का experience हो गया. And a fresher joins you as an assistant professor. अभी उसकी selection हुई है. So that person will need some direction. उसको support चाहिए होगी. More than you need, because you already have the experience. So these are two important attributes that will define the quality of your leadership. One is support and the other is direction, right? Now, just for the sake of making this more interesting, who's this person? Can anyone tell me who's this person? Sorry? Exactly.
So,
Sam Manekshaw. And why was he famous? He's considered to be one of the best military strategists that South Asia ever had. And he was very instrumental in, I think, the first war that we had with one of our neighboring countries. Right? And who's this?
Vladimir Putin.
Everybody knows.
Russian president.
He's the Russian president. Okay, Vladimir Putin. And why is he famous, by the way? How do you describe him, Putin?
A long-term serving president of Russia.
And और एक दो उसकी क्वालिटीज बताओ थोड़ी सी.
Dictator.
डिक्टेटर. हाँ, तो यही पहली बात माइंड में आती है ना, व्लादिमीर पुतिन को सोचिए ही इज द डिक्टेटर. चाहे वो ना भी हो डिक्टेटर, पर हमें लगता है ऐसा दैट इज अ डिक्टेटर. ओके, जस्ट अ मिनट. Okay, who's this?
Sir, Nelson Mandela.
Madiba. Nelson Mandela. He's called Madiba. So, and why is he famous, by the way, Nelson Mandela? The late Nelson Mandela. He's dead now, obviously.
He fight against apartheid system in South
Brilliant.
Africa.
So Abhijit ji कहते हैं that he fought against the white rule in Southern Africa, and that was called apartheid. And he is known as the Gandhi of Africa. Though he was not non-violent, Mahatma Gandhi को तो हम non-violent कहते हैं ना, that he was like the flag bearer of non-violence. But anyway, he got the job done. Nelson Mandela finally got freedom for South Africa. He became the first president also. But he was not non-violent. I mean, he had his own way. He also accepted कि violence भी थोड़ा थोड़ा जरूरी है. But that was his style of leadership. This should be
Sir,
simple.
Sushma Swaraj.
So the
Sushma
former,
Swaraj.
yeah, हमारे late foreign minister Sushma Swaraj. I believe that she was famous because for the first time, she brought the foreign office very closer to the Indian diaspora. जो Indians इंडिया के बाहर रहते थे, बहुत करीब ये इंडिया को उनके साथ लाई. And she was known that if you send her a tweet or you send her an email, so she used to take action and very quick. And there's so many millions and millions of Indians outside India. इतने Indians हैं, we call them गैर प्रवासी भारतीय. इतने इंडियंस है दैट एंड दे ऑल लुक अप टू द कंट्री. वो बेशक बाहर रह रहे हैं, अमेरिका में रह रहे हैं, यूके में रह रहे हैं, कनाडा में रह रहे हैं, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में रह रहे हैं, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे इंडिया इंडिया बच्चा प्रॉब्लम में आता है तो फिर माँ ही सुनती है उसकी. शी वॉज लाइक दी माँ, एंड शी ब्रॉट दैट फॉरेन ऑफिस क्लोज. वो अभी भी हमारा कल्चर चला. करंट फॉरेन मिनिस्टर जयशंकर वो थोड़ा डिफरेंट है, इज अ डिफरेंट बिकॉज इज अ करियर डिप्लोमैट. वो पहले ही वॉज ए फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी. पर Sushma Swaraj, she was more of a politician, and she was a very effective foreign minister that India had. A few other names, these would be simple. Yeah, who's this?
Sundar Pichai.
Yeah, Pichai, we all know, Indian bred, Indian educated. Yeah, and he's right now one of the top IT executives in the world. It doesn't get better than him. इसका अपना $250 million की तो salary है इसकी, which means that he's earning close to 14,000 crores. 1,400 crores every year. That is just his pay, apart from so that's how big he is, apart from his ESOPs and shares. This is Indra Nui, Pepsi ki head hoti thi, again, studied from India, and I am Calcutta ki student rahi hai. Vinod Dhoni, Vinod Kohli. Dhoni and Kohli are two different people, that both rock stars, बहुत अच्छे effective रहे हैं, but very different leadership styles. And who's this? So this is the last picture.
Malala Yousafzai.
So Malala Yousafzai, she was shot here in the head by the Taliban, and but she's a mascot for female education globally. She also won a Nobel Prize, and controversial in India because वो कुछ इंडिया के बारे में statements देती है, पर वो एक अलग बात है. But she's still a global leader. There's no doubt about that. So now this is a question: board जो leaders हैं, क्या वो पैदा होते हैं या उनको लीडरशिप सिखाई भी जा सकती है? Yeah, so this is a question.
Sir, leaders are born.
तो अगर आप या तो आप लीडर पैदा हुए और नहीं हुए, आई मीन आपको लीडर बनाया नहीं जा सकता. दैट्स व्हाट यू बिलीव. तो फिर तो हम ये सेशन भी क्यों कर रहे हैं? इसमें जो लीडर्स पैदा हो गए वो तो लीडर्स पैदा हो गए, अब तो फिर सेशन की भी जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि अब लीडरशिप क्वालिटी तो आप डाल ही नहीं सकते उनमें.
Born leader.
Sir, we have to give the direction to the born leader, and actually the leadership's quality is from childhood only.
तो यू बिलीव दैट लीडरशिप क्वालिटी तो बचपन से ही होती है और बाद में आप उनको थोड़ा सा
That's
डायरेक्शन.
right. That's
Sir,
correct, sir.
sometimes the atmospheric condition is responsible for making the leaders.
सॉरी मैम.
Sometimes the atmospheric condition in which the atmosphere will survive is responsible for making the person leader.
हाँ, कभी कभी there are certain circumstances where you become a leader. You don't, maybe you were not a leader per se, but there was a condition where आप leader बन गए all of a sudden. This happens very commonly in family businesses. Family businesses में लेटर से फादर ने एक बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया और उसके बाद फादर की काफी एज हो गई या फिर डेथ हो गई, कुछ हो गया, तो आगे उनके बच्चे फिर उस बिजनेस को चलाएंगे. तो दे बीन इंस्टॉल्ड कि अब तुम लीडर बनोगे, चाहे उनके अंदर लीडरशिप स्किल है कि नहीं, चाहे उनको वो बिजनेस पसंद है. आई मीन इवन इफ यू लुक एट द डिफरेंट डायनेस्टीज वी हैड इन इंडिया, देयर वाज अ मुगल डायनेस्टी. फाइनली क्या हुआ? फाइनली देन यू हैड बहादुर शाह जफर. ही वाज द फाइनल लीडर, एंड बहादुर शाह जफर की लीडरशिप एंड परहैप्स शाहजहां या फिर अकबर, ये दीज आर वेरी वेरी डिफरेंट. वो दे वर द ट्रू मुगल्स. उसके बाद that a lot of people did not perhaps have that kind of a leadership skill. It would have happened with different dynasties. with the Maratha kingdom, with the Sikh kingdom, with the Gupta dynasty, and so on and so forth. So we've seen it historically that at times leaders, if they're not born with those skills, then it's very difficult to bring in leadership in them. But there is also one school of thought which says that leadership आप सिखा भी सकते हो. Through training, you can also train people to become leaders. In fact, most of the business schools, जितने हमारे business schools हैं, IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, Calcutta, ISB Hyderabad, and so on, Harvard Business School है, Wharton Business School है. So these business schools, if you look at it carefully, ये business schools basically leadership training देते हैं, and they're very effective. So somebody say graduating from IIM Calcutta or IIM Bangalore, and they've done their MBA from there. So they are immediately they're given a leadership position. उनको immediately leadership position देते हैं. जबकि when they enter an IIM, so they are based on the entrance, or that entrance does not capture leadership as an attribute. That is based on reasoning, based on mathematical maths, reasoning, analytical abilities, comprehension skills, and so on and so forth. ठीक है, तो debatable है. So there are two schools of thought. एक कहता है that you're born as a leader. दूसरा कहता है that you teach leadership can be ingrained in you. So let us see. Trait theories कहते हैं that you have to be born as a leader. इन्हें कहते हैं trait theories. And behavioral theories say that you can be trained as a leader. However, it depends. मैं एक छोटा example देता हूँ. If you look at NDA, National Defense Academy in Pune, खड़गवासला, for example, तो जो बच्चे उसमें enroll होते हैं, they all by the time they graduate NDA करते हैं, उसके बाद फिर वो they go for training in Indian Military Academy, Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, and so on. When they join the armed forces, for example, as a lieutenant or as a junior, some junior functionary, so they join as an officer, and they have their own small battalion to command. Okay, so one best example of a theory, of a practical example where people can be trained to become a leader is an example of the Indian Armed Forces. Indian Armed Forces में वो अपने आप ही leadership आपके अंदर डाल देते हैं, and through a very, very rigorous training process. So if you were to ask me, I say that through effective training, हाँ, थोड़ा बहुत तो trait होना चाहिए leadership का, और थोड़ा बहुत leadership का trait हर इंसान में होता है. But I believe very strongly that with effective training, आप leaderships या आप leaders को create या तैयार कर सकते हो. अब there were two leadership theories that we spoke of, trait and behavioral. So these are some of the qualities. I'll give you 1 minute. आप ये पढ़ लीजिए कौन कौन सी क्वालिटीज या कौन कौन से एट्रीब्यूट्स या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होते हैं. एक ट्रेट बेस्ड लीडर मींस born leaders. Trait leader means born leaders. Second are behavior based leadership. अब आप देखिए, so this is where training will come into place. अब आप देखो इसमें अलग है, charisma, inspiration, courage, wit, बोलना आना चाहिए, good speaker, auditory skill, enthusiastic, energy है, humble है, empathy है, right? पर behavior based training जहां पे training मिलती है, so these leaders will be good in planning, they'll be very good in analytical skills. ठीक है, then procedures, systems को establish करेंगे. So if you look at a CEO of a company, एक company का CEO होता है, वो यही करता है, planning, analysis, procedures, processes they'll put in place. You look at, for example, आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी का वाइस चांसलर, आपके कॉलेज के डायरेक्टर, प्रिंसिपल, ये उनका काम है. वो सिर्फ एंथुजियाज्म या खाली टाइम एनकरेज करके नहीं काम होगा ना, ये तो कुछ प्लानिंग भी करनी है, एनालिसिस, प्रोसीजर है, यू हैव टू बिल्ड दोस टीम्स, छोटी छोटी कमिटीज बनानी है, राइट? Then you have to look at details, you have to read a lot, you have to look at the processes, you have to engage people, so on. Coach karna hai, you have to train people, जैसे दिस MMTTC का ये जो हमारा FDP इज अ ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम, ओके। और एक चीज जो, दो चीजें कॉमन है अगर आप देखोगे पिछली स्लाइड में और इस स्लाइड में, दो चीजें कॉमन है, ह्यूमिलिटी एंड एम्पैथी। ह्यूमिलिटी का मतलब ये है कि आप जितने लेवल पर पहुंच जाओ, अपना बेसिक काम कभी मत भूलो। यू मे बिकम अ वाइस चांसलर, यू मे बिकम द UGC चेयरमैन, बट रिमेंबर एट द एंड ऑफ द डे वी आर ऑल टीचर्स। टीचिंग कभी मत छोड़ना। दिस इज अ रिक्वेस्ट आई मेक टू एवरीबडी, मेरे जितने भी कोलीग्स हैं जूनियर सीनियर, कि आप टीचर हो। टीचर अगर आपको कभी भी मौका मिलता है ना पढ़ाने का या सेशन लेना है, एंड इट्स नॉट अबाउट द मनी, दिस इज, आई मीन द मनी वी गेट इज वेरी स्मॉल, इट इज लाइक जीरो, कुछ भी नहीं मिलता, बट इट्स अ पैशन। तो ह्यूमिलिटी बहुत जरूरी है, रिमेन रूटेड टू योर प्रोफेशन। सो यू बिकम अ जनरल बट यू विल ऑलवेज रिमेन अ सोल्जर। सेकेंड इज एम्पथी। एम्पथी का मतलब है आप जो भी हो, जिस लेवल पे भी हो, ऑलवेज हैव एम्पथी फॉर द पीपल अराउंड यू। आपके टीचिंग, नॉन टीचिंग, आपके रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स, स्टूडेंट्स, एवरीबडी हैज चैलेंजेस इन लाइफ, सो हैव अ लॉट ऑफ एम्पथी। तो दोनों लीडरशिप स्किल्स में ये दो चीजें कॉमन है, इसके बिना तो आप लीडर बन ही नहीं सकते। तो जब आप कहते हो ना कि कुछ चीजें वी आर बॉर्न विद, तो व्हाट यू आर बॉर्न विद इज एम्पथी एंड ह्यूमिलिटी। एम्पथी और ह्यूमिलिटी ये, और इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, सिंस हम इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम की भी बात करते हुए टॉकिंग अबाउट NEP, सो दिस कम्स फ्रॉम आवर संस्कार, from the family values, the Indian family values, irrespective of what religion you are, what state you belong to. So I think there are certain, that Indian values that we have, all of us have, whether we're in India or we're outside India. Now, effective leadership. Now let's come to the topic. The core topic was situational leadership. Situational leadership, Hersey और Blanchard ने 1969 में they had devised this. According to them, based on डायरेक्ट, आप स्टार्टिंग में आपको बताता है डेफिनेशन, उस डेफिनेशन में देयर वर टू एट्रीब्यूट्स ऑफ लीडरशिप, आई टोल्ड यू, एक था डायरेक्शन, एक था सपोर्ट। सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट देयर आर 4 डिफरेंट लीडरशिप स्टाइल्स, ठीक है। एंड बेस्ड ऑन द लेवल ऑफ योर लीडर का ऑपोजिट इज फॉलोअर, राइट। तो सबऑर्डिनेट नहीं, फॉलोअर मैं यूज करूंगा, सबऑर्डिनेट थोड़ा सा नेगेटिव टर्म है। सो योर फॉलोअर, तो फॉलोअर के डिपेंडिंग ऑन देयर कॉम्पिटेंस और डेवलपिंग ऑन देयर कमिटमेंट, उनके भी 4 लेवल है। यानी कि लीडरशिप के 4 स्टाइल है और फॉलोअर के भी 4 तरीके हैं, 4 टाइप्स ऑफ फॉलोअर्स। तो अब डिफरेंट फॉलोअर के लिए डिफरेंट लीडरशिप स्टाइल लगेगा। आई रिपीट, depending on what type of follower you are, if let us say that you are my follower and I'm your leader, so depending on your attribute, I will have to adjust, I will have to adapt my leadership style. और मेरे जो leadership style है वो depend करेगी on direction and support. Your style as a follower will depend on competence and commitment. आप कितने competent हो, दूसरा आप कितने committed हो। बहुत सारे लोग बड़े competent होते हैं पर कमिटमेंट नहीं होती, हमने नहीं करना। दे डोंट हैव अ कनेक्ट, उनको लगता ही नहीं कि हमें कुछ करना है, होगा ठीक है यार। अच्छा, कुछ लोग क्या होता है कि उनकी कॉम्पिटेंस नहीं होती, दे डोंट हैव ट्रेनिंग एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, बट उनकी कमिटमेंट बड़ी सॉलिड होती है। आपके ऑफिस में भी अगर आप देखोगे, अगर आप प्रिंसिपल के पोजीशन पर, HOD की पोजीशन पर हो, आप हमेशा सबसे ज्यादा काम उसको देते हो जो सबसे ज्यादा बिजी है। मेरी यूनिवर्सिटी में कहते हैं, जो मेरी बॉस है, माई लेडी बॉस, she says, I mean not at home, even my office I have a lady boss, मेरी boss is a woman. She says कि अगर किसी से काम करवाना है, अगर किसी से काम करवाना है आपने अपने कॉलेज में, यूनिवर्सिटी में, तो जो यूनिवर्सिटी में सबसे बिजी आदमी है उसको 2 काम हो जाएगा, और जो बंदा फ्री है उसको दोगे तो वो काम कभी नहीं होगा, क्योंकि वो फ्री ही रहना चाहता है। आप लोग मुझे सुन रहे हो? डिस्कनेक्ट तो नहीं हुआ अभी?
No, sir. We are
Yes,
listening.
yes, sir.
सुन रहे हो ना?
Yes,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
sir, yes, sir.
ठीक है, तो ये बात मानते हो आप कि अगर काम करवाना है तो
Yes, sir,
सबसे
yes.
बिजी पर्सन को दो?
जी sir.
yes. There is always a person who is doing the work and other is like sitting
हाँ,
idle.
और फिर बाकी लोग ना कहेंगे कि देखो ये तो ना उसको फेवर करता है, पार्शियलिटी करता है। ओ भाई, वो काम कर रहा है, जो बंदा काम कर रहा तो फिर बॉस तो उसको फेवर करेगा ना। वो फेवर भी ना करे, काम भी ना करवाए, तुम भी नहीं काम करोगे, फिर तो हो गया। एनीवे अब हमने बात करनी है ये 4 लीडरशिप स्टाइल और 4 डेवलपमेंट लेवल की बात करनी है। अब देखते हैं। एक है लो कॉम्पिटेंस हाई कमिटमेंट। इसको हम नाम देते हैं D1, यानी कि द इंटर्न। इस पर डिस्कशन होगी बाद में, आप नोट कर लो, ठीक है ना। कॉम्पिटेंस कम है, बहुत सारा काम आता नहीं है, पर सीखना चाहता है, कमिटमेंट बड़ी सॉलिड है, इसको द इंटर्न कहते हैं। ये हमने नाम दिए हुए वैसे ही। दूसरा है कि कॉम्पिटेंस भी कम है और सीखना भी नहीं चाहते, इन्हें हम कहते हैं काउच पोटैटो। सोफे पर लेटा हुआ है, मूवी देख रहा है, काम नहीं करना, करना भी नहीं चाहता, सीखना भी नहीं चाहता, कंप्यूटर नहीं आता, IT स्किल्स नहीं है, नहीं है तो नहीं है, चाहिए भी नहीं मुझे। एक है कॉम्पिटेंट बहुत है पर कमिटमेंट नहीं है, रोलिंग स्टोन्स कहते हैं। ऐसे लोग ना पॉलिटिक्स बड़ी करते हैं, इधर की उधर, उधर की इधर, यू नो। दिमाग तो पूरा इंटेलिजेंट है पर काम नहीं करना चाहते, और वो टीम सक्सीड हो ना हो, दे डोंट हार्डली बॉदर, दे जस्ट वेटिंग फॉर द नेक्स्ट सैलरी कि ठीक है यार, मुझे क्या लेना, तनख्वाह ही रही है ना। फिर है चौथे नंबर पे लोग जो कि कॉम्पिटेंस और कमिटमेंट दोनों टॉप की है। वी कॉल देम हेलो। हेलो होता है ना जो सिर के पीछे, जो बड़े बड़े लोग होते हैं उनके सिर के पीछे एक वो होता है, एक मून जैसा, उसे हेलो कहते हैं। ऐसे लोग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में राइज करते हैं बहुत जल्दी, पार्शियलिटी नहीं होती इनके साथ, ये काम करते हैं, दे डिजर्व इट, ठीक है। सो दीज आर फॉलोअर्स। फॉलोअर ये 4 तरीके के हैं, हेलो, और बेस्ड ऑन कॉम्पिटेंस एंड कमिटमेंट। रिमेंबर देर आर दीज आर 2 कंस्ट्रक्ट्स, कमिटमेंट लिख लो आप एंड कॉम्पिटेंस। अब लीडरशिप स्टाइल देखते हैं हम। अगर बहुत डायरेक्शन देनी है, ठीक है, S1, हाई डायरेक्शन लो सपोर्ट, इसे कहते हैं टेलिंग। फिर S2, हाई डायरेक्शन और हाई सपोर्ट, इसे कहते हैं कोचिंग। फिर है लो डायरेक्शन बट हाई सपोर्ट, इसे हम कहते हैं रिवाइविंग। और लो डायरेक्शन लो सपोर्ट, इसे कहते हैं हम हैंड्स ऑफ, दूर रहो। सो आई विल नाउ गिव यू 5 मिनट्स आप सबको। आप सबने D4, D3, D2, D1 को मैच करना है S1, S2, S3, S4 के साथ। ये लीडरशिप स्टाइल है, पहले था फॉलोअर स्टाइल। किस टाइप के फॉलोअर को किस तरह की लीडरशिप स्टाइल होनी चाहिए, यही सिचुएशनल लीडरशिप है। सो आई गिव यू 5 मिनट्स, ओके। मैं 5 मिनट दे रहा हूं, मैं वीडियो ऑफ करता हूं और मैं बोलना बंद करता हूं, आप लोग थोड़ा सोच लो।
Sir, may I look that previous slide?
सॉरी,
पहली स्लाइड देख सकते हैं हम?
देख मुझे पता था कोई बोलेगा ऐसे, क्योंकि तब आपने ध्यान नहीं दिया। अभी दिखाता हूं,
नो सर।
आप इसका स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो मैम, या फोटो ले लो इसकी। अब आप समझ गए ना क्या करना है। D4, D3, D2, D1 को S4, S3, S2, S1 के साथ मैच करना है। किसके साथ क्या जाएगा, जैसे होता है ना मैच द फॉलोइंग। कोई बात है, सोच लो, मैं 5 मिनट दे रहा हूं। So do we have a verdict? I can see some entries. D4 is equal to this one. सारे डिफरेंट है. अच्छा, कुछ सिमिलर भी है. सूर्यकांत जी, थोड़ा आप म्यूट कर लीजिए अपने आप को. धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया. ओके, ऐश्वर्या मैम एंड कार्तिक जी का ऑलमोस्ट सेम है. मुझे तो लगता है कट पेस्ट कॉपी है आप दोनों का. ये चीटिंग है यार. ओके, गुड. ठीक है. सूर्यकांत जी, आप प्लीज अपने आप को म्यूट करिए. Can somebody ask him to please mute himself? Okay. So now let us see. अब आपने all of you have given based on your understanding. So it is not right, it is not wrong. ऐसा नहीं है. It is purely that means कि आपने जो दिया है उस सिचुएशन में आप वो करते जो आपने एक बना के दिया है ना. You made की इस S2 with D1 and also. So it very clearly reflects your leadership style. So जो original authors थे उन्होंने क्या दिया, let us see. D1, D2, D3, D4. Okay. So this is what is suggested in training sessions. Okay. So when you say low support, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आपने उसको support नहीं करना. When you say low support, it means that support, I mean, you will not give too much, you will not allocate too many resources for an intern. Direction बहुत दोगे पर बहुत resources नहीं दोगे आप. That is what this means in this context. ठीक है. लो कॉम्पिटेंस, लो कमिटमेंट. आप कोच करो, उसको डायरेक्शन दो, सपोर्ट करो, सी इफ दैट पर्सन कैन कम अप. नाउ एक चीज और ध्यान रखो. इंटर्न, काउच पोटैटो, रोलिंग स्टोन, हेलो, ये परमानेंट पोजीशंस नहीं है. आज जो इंटर्न है वो हो सकता है कि अगर उसको प्रॉपर उसको डायरेक्शन ना मिले, वो काउच पोटैटो बन सकता है. अगर अच्छी कोचिंग मिले तो हो सकता है काउच पोटैटो हेलो बन सकता है. सो विच मीन्स दैट D1, D2, D3, D4 people can move from D1 to D2, D2 to D3, D4 and so on and so forth. They can move in any direction. So as a leader, आपका स्टाइल तब इफेक्टिव है when a majority of your followers, your employees, they fall into which category? कौन सी कैटेगरी सबसे अच्छी है? Anyone? Are you listening? Yeah. नकुल जी, कुछ कह रहे थे आप?
T4.
T4, obviously, it's very obvious, right? So the best scenario is where everybody becomes D4, which obviously is not possible. हमें पता is not possible. ठीक है. अगर हर कोई D4 है फिर तो हैंड्स ऑफ है, फिर तो you don't even need a leader. आपको मैनेजर की जरूरत ही नहीं है. Everybody is a leader. पर बहुत सारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस फ्लैट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस होती हैं. They're very flat organizations. D3 नहीं मैम, राधिका मैम D3 नहीं, it has to be D4. ठीक है ना, D4 is the best. ठीक है. So a lot of organizations these days in the modern era, जो modern management है, वो ये कहते हैं very flat. जैसे हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी है, my university is a very flat university. हमारी रिपोर्टिंग है, मेरे को I have a very big team, पर मैं कोई बहुत ज्यादा ये नहीं कहता we empower people. मैं कहता हूँ अपना काम करो, मुझे रिजल्ट से मतलब है यार, आप रिजल्ट्स मुझे दो, काम करो, सही तरीके से काम करो और मुझे रिजल्ट्स आप हैंड दो. अब ये कुछ एग्जांपल्स है वैसे ही, जस्ट फन. एक इंसिडेंट हुआ था, इट वाज अ मैच बिटवीन, तो इसने बहुत बड़ी गलती करी थी ऋषभ पंत ने. वी ऑल नो ऋषभ पंत, क्रिकेट के एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ, इंडियंस को क्रिकेट बहुत पसंद है. तो ही ब्रॉट हिज ग्लव्स इन फ्रंट ऑफ द विकेट, और ये बिल्कुल क्लियरली रन आउट था ये. तो बिकॉज आप टेक्निकल इशू था ये, तो टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम थी, तो ये इसका आउट नहीं हुआ, जबकि इसने बेल्स उड़ा दी थी. ठीक है. यू रिमेंबर दिस पिक्चर? कौन सी मूवी का है ये?
दंगल।
दंगल।
दंगल का. याद है ये दोनों को जबरदस्ती को बेड से उठा के लाता अपनी डॉटर्स को, उठो और चलो. देन दे बिकम वर्ल्ड चैंपियंस. तो काउच पोटैटोस थे वो, दे बिकेम वर्ल्ड क्लास रेसलर्स, बोथ ऑफ दीज गर्ल्स. ठीक है. इनफैक्ट ये दोनों लड़कियां जहां से हैं, तो मैं पढ़ा भी वहीं से हूँ, प्लेस कॉल्ड एमडी यूनिवर्सिटी रोहतक, बहुत पास है मेरी यूनिवर्सिटी. यू रिमेंबर दिस गाय?
शमी शमी
मोहम्मद शमी।
या
मोहम्मद
मोहम्मद शमी. मोहम्मद शमी को मैं देखो ना, बिकॉज ऑफ हिम. ठीक है. और लेफ्ट साइड पे कौन है? स्टीव जॉब्स. तो स्टीव जॉब्स, देयर वाज अ टाइम व्हेन ही वाज इन द टॉप. इसने खुद एक कंपनी बनाई थी, उस कंपनी से इसको निकाल दिया, इसकी अपनी कंपनी से. उसके बाद फिर से इसने उसी कंपनी को दोबारा खरीद के देन ही मेड इट इनटू एप्पल. अनफॉर्चुनेटली डाइड ऑफ कैंसर. सो दीज आर पीपल हु they revived. Who is this gentleman? Anyone? Who's he?
Satyam director.
Anybody else? इनका नाम है ई श्रीधरन. ई श्रीधरन जो थे, इनको मेट्रो मैन कहते हैं. दिल्ली मेट्रो इन्होंने क्रिएट की थी. एंड इनका आखिरी प्रोजेक्ट जब था बिफोर रिटायरमेंट, इट वाज कोंकण रेलवेज. कोंकण रेलवे वाज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट प्रोजेक्ट्स ऑफ इट्स टाइम, द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट प्रोजेक्ट्स इन इंडिया एंड ग्लोबली ऑल्सो. वो सक्सेसफुल किया, देन ही रिटायर्ड. देन इनको इंडियन गवर्नमेंट, दे ब्रॉट हिम फॉर द दिल्ली मेट्रो, डीएमआरसी. ही चेयर द दिल्ली मेट्रो. और इनकी एक कंडीशन थी, वो कहते हैं मैं काम करूंगा, मैं दिल्ली मेट्रो आपके बना दूंगा, इट विल बी सक्सेस. आज 20 शहरों में मेट्रो है बिकॉज ऑफ द सक्सेस ऑफ दिल्ली मेट्रो, एंड ही स्टार्टेड इट. तो श्रीधरन ने ये बात कही थी टू हिज पॉलिटिकल बॉसेस कि मैं करूंगा, बट आई डू नॉट नीड पॉलिटिकल इंटरफेरेंस. मुझे बजट बताओ, काम बताओ, आई डू द जॉब, बट पॉलिटिकल इंटरफेरेंस चाहिए मुझे, नो सिफारिश. आई विल पुट अ टीम इन प्लेस दैट इज कॉम्पिटेंट. एंड ही गॉट द जॉब डन. Leander Pace, we all know, one of the best, most accomplished tennis players India has ever had. So, situational approach की जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, it is based on flexibility, right? So, leadership, you cannot paint leadership with one brush. कि ये ऐसा ही leadership is good. No. Leadership situational based होती है. अलग-अलग situation में अलग-अलग तरह की leadership चाहिए होती है. Right? So you have to match your leadership according to the development and the commitment level of your follower. That is what is written over here. Right? And you also have to develop your followers or your subordinates or your employees, your colleagues. So they should all become a D4. राइट नाउ अकेडमिया, हमारा जो महकमा है अकेडमिया, सो आई बिलीव दीज आर द 5 very very important variables that or constructs that contribute to effective leadership in teaching and research. तो हमारे फील्ड में एक तो रेगुलेटरी नॉलेज बड़ी जरूरी है, फॉर एग्जांपल एनईपी की नॉलेज, नैक की क्या गाइडलाइंस हैं, एनबीए की क्या गाइडलाइंस हैं, जो भी अगर आप डील करते हो। फिर आपकी अपनी डोमेन एक्सपर्टीज बहुत जरूरी है। अगर आप आर्ट एंड डिजाइन हो, फाइन आर्ट्स के फैकल्टी हो, फिजिक्स के फैकल्टी हो, इवन इफ यू आर अ डायरेक्टर और अ प्रिंसिपल और अ वाइस चांसलर, इफ यू आर अ फिजिक्स टीचर यू शुड बी वेरी गुड इन योर एरिया। आप फिजिक्स में यू शुड बी वेरी गुड। ये बस स्टेप करके ले लो। फिर टीम स्किल्स आज की तारीख में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, दैट यू शुड नो हाउ टू वर्क इन अ टीम। अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल वांट टू वर्क इन अ साइलो, कि मैं अकेले काम करूं, मैं सबके साथ काम नहीं कर सकता। इंक्रीजिंगली ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो हैं वो टीम स्किल्स को टेक्निकल स्किल्स से ज्यादा वैल्यू करती हैं। सो इफ यू कैन डेमोन्स्ट्रेट दैट यू हैव टीम स्किल्स, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट इवन अबाउट आपके अपने स्टूडेंट्स जिनको आप पढ़ाते हो, उनको भी ये बातें पता होनी चाहिए दैट कंपनीज अगर वो कल प्लेसमेंट के लिए जाएंगे तो कंपनी टीम स्किल को ज्यादा वैल्यू करेगी rather than technical skills. फिर एक कंट्रोवर्शियल बात लिख रहा हूं मैं, पॉलिटिकल एक्यूमेन। व्हाट इज पॉलिटिकल एक्यूमेन? कौन बताएगा? Who will tell me what is political acumen? पॉलिटिकल एक्यूमेन का मतलब ये नहीं कि पॉलिटिक्स करनी है। हैविंग सेड दिस, पॉलिटिक्स हम उसको ह्यूमन रिसोर्स मैनेजमेंट की बुक में भी पढ़ाते हैं, आई मीन सब्जेक्ट में। पॉलिटिक्स इज अ रियलिटी इन एवरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड पॉलिटिक्स, एंड पॉलिटिक्स इज नॉट अ नेगेटिव टर्म। पॉलिटिक्स का मतलब, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू शुड नो कि कौन किस चीज को हम किस बंदे के थ्रू काम करवा सकते हैं। कोई सीनियर है, किसी और डिपार्टमेंट का बंदा है, एग्जामिनेशन डिपार्टमेंट है, कोई कंपनी है, तो कोई कंपनी में कोई बड़ा कोई ऐसा एचआर एग्जीक्यूटिव है जिसको कि हाउ दैट पर्सन कैन बी इन्फ्लुएंस्ड। सो दैट इज कॉल्ड पॉलिटिकल एक्यूमेन। हिज एबिलिटी टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड नेविगेट पॉलिटिकल सिचुएशंस इज वेरी गुड। वैशाली मैम ब्रिलियंट, तो वैशाली मैम ने उसमें डाला हुआ है। So you need to navigate the organization, because if you are not working only with your team or your reporting boss, so and you're dealing with somebody else outside your domain or your specific area of influence, so you need some kind of political acumen. You may call it interpersonal skill, you may call it team skill, you may call it anything you want to, but it's called political acumen. And very 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 important, health. अगर एक लीडर रहना है, लीडर शायद बन भी जाओगे, बट इफ यू वांट टू रिमेन एट अ लीडरशिप पोजीशन, आपकी खुद की सेहत बहुत जरूरी है। आज की तारीख में ओबेसिटी, स्मोकिंग, जंक फूड, ये खाली छोटे बच्चों की प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, ये बड़े लोगों की भी है। इवन ऑफ आवर एज, आई मीन आवर मीन्स आई एम 50 years old, आई हैव सीन पीपल, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स, उनके टेबल पे जब जाओ समोसे पड़े होते हैं। एब्सोल्यूट जंक फूड यार, you can't be eating samosas every day. So also you have to, if you want to remain a good leader, you want to bring out the best of you as a leader, you have to maintain your health. इसको मैंने एक रिसर्च मॉडल में डाला है, कंसेप्चुअल फ्रेमवर्क, रेगुलेटरी नॉलेज, डोमेन एक्सपर्टीज, टीम स्किल्स, these three lead to effective academic leadership. इसमें एक रिसर्च पेपर भी लिख सकते हैं, ठीक है, वी कैन राइट अ रिसर्च पेपर। और पॉलिटिकल एक्यूमेन, ये आपका मॉडरेटिंग वेरिएबल। ये मैंने जब मोहम्मद आतिक सर ने मुझे बोला था ना लेक्चर देने के लिए, फिर मैंने अपने रिसर्च स्कॉलर से डिस्कस करके हमने एक ये हाइपोथेटिकल मॉडल बनाया है। तो ये सारा कुछ जीरो हो जाएगा अगर आपकी हेल्थ और पर्सनल वेलबींग नेगेटिव है। तो आप फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आपकी हेल्थ ठीक नहीं है, पर्सनल वेलबींग आप चिड़चिड़े हो, यू आर इरिटेटेड बिकॉज ऑफ समथिंग, तो आप टीम स्किल्स आपकी खत्म हो जाती है। हेल्थ खराब है तो फिर आपकी डोमेन एक्सपर्टीज आप पढ़ा नहीं पाओगे, राइट। फिर आपका सब कुछ अच्छा है, डोमेन एक्सपर्टीज अच्छी है, हेल्थ भी अच्छा है, टीम स्किल सब कुछ है, पर आपको वो पॉलिटिकल एक्यूमेन नहीं, यू डू नॉट नो हाउ टू नेविगेट द पॉलिटिक्स, तो भी रह जाओगे। सो ये सब चीजें आई बिलीव आर इंपॉर्टेंट टू बी एन इफेक्टिव एकेडमिक लीडर। Having said this, there is also something that there's a caveat. It's called the Peter Principle. Peter Principle ये भी कहता है कि कई बार हम कुछ लोगों को प्रमोट कर देते हैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, हम उस सो वी से दैट इन ये प्राइवेट सेक्टर में बहुत कॉमन है दैट यू प्रमोट पीपल टू द लेवल ऑफ इनकॉम्पिटेंस, कि तब तक हम प्रमोशन करते हैं जब तक वो बंदा इनकॉम्पिटेंट हो जाता है, उसके बाद वो और ज्यादा परफॉर्म कर ही नहीं सकता। इसको हम पीटर्स प्रिंसिपल कहते हैं। अगर आप देखोगे ऐसे ही बना हुआ है, सुपर कॉम्पिटेंट, कॉम्पिटेंट, इनकॉम्पिटेंट, ये ऊपर ऊपर जैसे जा रहा है, तो एवरीबडी हैज अ लिमिट टू देयर कॉम्पिटेंस, राइट। सो दीज आर सम क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आई वुड लाइक टू पोज टू यू। एक आपको याद होगा, काउच पोटैटो था हमारा एक फॉलोअर, लो कमिटमेंट एंड लो कॉम्पिटेंस। ऐसे लोगों के साथ क्या करना चाहिए? ये मेरा थर्ड क्वेश्चन है।
Coaching.
सरी,
We have to coaching. Coaching.
चलो कोच कर लिया, कब तक कोच करोगे? वो नहीं चेंज हो रहा, नहीं बदलना उसने, फिर
Revive me.
नहीं हो रहा, कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा, चेंज ही नहीं हो रहा, वैसे का वैसे ही है। अब गवर्नमेंट में तो आप किसी को निकाल नहीं सकते, मैं समझता हूं, बट प्राइवेट सेक्टर में फिर ऐसे लोग दे आर फाइनली सैक्ड, और होना भी चाहिए, एक लिमिट तक आप करोगे, राइट, बिकॉज इफ पीपल आर बीइंग पेड अ सैलरी, even if they're in the government sector, so people in the government sector, private sector, it's all taxpayer money, so that money should be effectively utilized. So there should be a way of telling that person ki bye, you're no longer required. So ये दो रिसर्च पेपर्स है मेरे 2020 के, पुराने पेपर्स हैं ये, तो मे बी यू कैन लुक एट देम, आप इनको पढ़ सकते हो। खासतौर पे जो पहला पेपर लीडर मेंबर एक्सचेंज, एलएमएक्स थ्योरी कहते हैं उसको, ये डाउनलोड कर सकते हो आप, ओपन एक्सेस है फिलहाल ये, सो यू कैन डाउनलोड इट, आप पढ़िए इस पेपर को, यू कैन शेयर योर फीडबैक विद मी। ये मेरा ईमेल आईडी है, दिस इज माय लिंक्डइन हैंडल, प्लीज फॉलो मी ऑन दिस, and you can write to me on my email id if there's any question you have. If you want to interact with me after this session, you're most welcome. So this is where my presentation ends. I'll stop sharing this and I'm now open to discussions.
Sir, good afternoon. Ankush Pawar, Tolani Maritime.
Good afternoon. What's up?
Sir, how much effort required for this leadership means preparation?
Sir, देखो, leadership मेरे हिसाब से ऑन द जॉब ट्रेनिंग होती है, बट आई थिंक टू बी एन इफेक्टिव लीडर फॉर एन इफेक्टिव ट्रेनिंग मॉड्यूल, बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूशन जो कि 1 ईयर लीडरशिप कोर्सेज करते हैं, तो अगर आप कायदे से वो 1 ईयर लीडरशिप कोर्स करो, I mean, I'll put it formally that way. So I think that is pretty good. It really brings a change in the way you think. Especially वो जो behavioral theory थी ना, starting में discuss करी थी. It teaches you how to plan, analyze, look at teams, right? A lot of things that a lot of very good insights it will give you. So I think we can interact now, because I'll be happy if we can interact. There's so many faculty members. कुछ insights आप बताइए. I mean, I would like to learn from you also. कि what is your thought process? आप लोगों को अच्छा नहीं लगा लेक्चर मेरा आज का?
अच्छा लगा सर।
और वो लग नहीं रहा कि अच्छा लगा यार, वो कोई इंटरेक्ट
Sir,
नहीं कर।
nice and motivational, sir.
सॉरी।
Motivational and effective, nice, very nice.
So I hope you will go back to your college or university or your department और उसको आप implement करोगे। Now start looking at followers की हर किसी की अलग needs होती हैं और हमें हर किसी को एक अलग से leadership style हमें उस पर अपनाना पड़ेगा। यही एक ट्रू लीडर है, राइट? बड़ा जरूरी है एंड
Yes, sir.
ह्यूमिलिटी जरूरी है। इफ मैं आपको अपना बताता हूँ, इफ आई मेक अ मिस्टेक एज अ लीडर, तो आई विल टेल माई टीम मेंबर कि हाँ यार मेरे से गलती हुई है और मैं कोशिश करूंगा उसको मैं दोबारा रिपीट ना करूं, पर हम इकट्ठे मिलकर काम करते हैं, ठीक है? बिकॉज वी हैव टू वर्क टूवर्ड्स अ पर्टिकुलर गोल। और कई बार कोई ईगो क्लैश है, कुछ आपने नाराजगी में कुछ कह दिया, यू शुड रियलाइज दैट एवरीबडी इज ह्यूमन, एवरीबडी वांट्स सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट, ठीक है ना? सो दैट इज समथिंग दैट यू कैन नेवर एवर ब्रीच, किसी की सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट। सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, बाकी लोगों के आगे किसी को मत डांटो। डांटना है, किसी को कुछ बोलना है, उसको प्राइवेट में बोलो, वन टू वन। सब कुछ वो बहुत फील होता है लोगों को। लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स यू नो दे यू कैन फॉलो। वी ऑल मेक मिस्टेक्स, आई मेक अ मिस्टेक एज अ लीडर, बट यू हैव टू कीप लर्निंग। आई थिंक दैट्स द आइडिया, दैट्स द की, राइट? और वो जो मॉडल मैंने शेयर किया आपके साथ, वो प्लीज जरूर फॉलो करना। एंड इफ यूर अ टीचर, आप जिस मर्जी लेवल पे पहुंच जाओ, टीचिंग, कोचिंग, ट्रेनिंग कभी मत छोड़ना। आपकी जो भी ट्रेनिंग एक्टिविटी है, कोचिंग आप करते हो, आप एफडीपी कंडक्ट करते हो या कॉन्फ्रेंस पेपर पब्लिश करते हो, आप पेपर्स पब्लिश करते हो जर्नल्स में, उसको कभी मत रोकना, ठीक है? आपकी जो एक्चुअल पहचान है वो हमेशा एक टीचर के तौर पे रहेगी, एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज गोइंग टू टेक यू फॉर। स्टूडेंट्स विल नेवर रिस्पेक्ट यू फॉर योर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव स्किल्स। एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इज वेरी थैंकलेस, सो योर स्टूडेंट्स विल ऑलवेज रिस्पेक्ट यू एज ए टीचर। योर टीचर इज एक्सेलेंट यार, बहुत अच्छे टीचर है, बड़े अच्छे कोच है, बड़े अच्छे गाइड है मेरे पीएचडी के।
Sir, I think that every teacher has to follow our Prime Minister Narendra Modi and learn the leadership qualities from him.
नो एब्सोल्युटली, एब्सोल्युटली। उनको देखें, इज वेरी इंस्पिरेशनल। बहुत लोग उनको नापसंद करते हैं, मुझे पता नहीं क्यों, बट आई मीन ही इज, आई मीन आई डोंट सपोर्ट एनी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी एज सच, बट आई थिंक ही इज अ वेरी वर्दी प्राइम मिनिस्टर। अगर कोई प्राइम मिनिस्टर होना चाहिए तो वैसा होना चाहिए। और जब मैं अमेरिकन पॉलिटिक्स देखता हूँ तब तो मेरे को लगता है हमारा पीएम तो यार उनसे 100 गुना बेटर है। द काइंड ऑफ पीपल दे हैव, तो दुनिया का सबसे पावरफुल कंट्री है। एनीवे, ये थोड़ा पॉलिटिकल हो जाएगा फिर अदरवाइज।
Sir, what is the relation between the experiential learning and situational leadership? Is there any relation between these two?
एक्सपीरियंशियल
Learning.
सर, एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग तो इट इज अ लर्निंग स्टाइल, इट्स अ टाइपोलॉजी ऑफ लर्निंग एंड इफेक्टिव सिचुएशन लीडरशिप। चलो, या लीडरशिप ही कर लेते हैं। सो व्हेन यू से एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग, आई थिंक फ्रॉम एज अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट, experiential learning is one of the most effective tools of teaching leadership. It's a very effective training tool. So if I were to give a book to a student कि ये किताब है, तुम पढ़ लो और तुम 3 महीने में लीडर बन जाओगे, एक है। दूसरा एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग, आई गिव देम सम टूल्स, सम मॉड्यूल्स वेयर दे एक्सपीरियंस ट्रू लीडरशिप। सो ऑब्वियसली वो किताब पढ़ के कोई लीडर नहीं बना आज तक। जैसे कहते हैं ना, हाउ टू बिकम रिच इन 10 days, वो किताब पढ़ के कोई अमीर भी नहीं बना। सो एक्सपीरियंशियल लीडरशिप और एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग इज द मोस्ट इफेक्टिव टूल फॉर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ऑफ इंडिविजुअल्स, टू ट्रांसफर नॉलेज फ्रॉम वन पर्सन टू द अदर पर्सन। So that is a relationship. I think there's a very strong, significant, positive relationship. अगर मैं रिसर्चर की बात करूं तो, एज अ रिसर्चर।
Thank you, sir.
I was hoping that we'll have a lot of discussions during this session. Anybody else? तो मे बी somebody can share their leadership style with me. मैं देखता हूँ कई लोगों ने रिस्पॉन्ड किया था. वैशाली मैम, वैशाली मैम आपका लीडरशिप स्टाइल क्या है? वैशाली मैम नहीं है. सुखदेव सर, मिस्टर सुखदेव घुले. श्रद्धा मैम है, श्रद्धा, छाया, नंदिनी, डॉक्टर नीरव शाह. I mean, you're all leaders, and I'm sure that somebody can describe their own leadership style.
Sir,
Sir,
मैं
I have one question.
Okay, who's this?
I am Dr. Shrikant Madiwale.
Yeah, Shrikant sir.
Yeah. Generally, we used to find out in many organizations, we used in the organization they used to have a good leader, but without the formal authority. So how basically you connect this leadership with the authority? Many times in order to take the decision, the leader must be empowered with a proper authority.
Now, sir,
So can effective leadership exist?
Can-
Effective leadership. No, I'm talking about effective leadership exist without formal authority.
without.
Formal authority.
So now that's a very interesting question. In organizational behavior, there are two things that we discuss. One is power, one is authority. ठीक है? Power और authority में difference है. पहले तो let us understand. Let's go a little bit to the background of these two constructs. Power is where people may or may not be authorized, but they wield a lot of power. For example, एक वाइस चांसलर का पर्सनल सेक्रेटरी बड़ा पावरफुल है वो, पर वो वीसी नहीं है. वीसी तो अंदर बैठे हुए हैं, पर वो खुद अपने आप को वीसी जैसे समझता है. वेरी पावरफुल भी होता है वो, बिकॉज वो कई सारी चीजों को इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकता है. ठीक है. अब मैं आपको याद है मैंने पॉलिटिकल एक्यूमेन की बात करी थी अपने मॉडल में. तो जहां पर पावर होती है लोगों के पास पर अथॉरिटी नहीं होती, तो वहां पर पॉलिटिकल एक्यूमेन काम आएगा. नंबर वन. नंबर टू, आपके पास अथॉरिटी अगर नहीं है तो लीडरशिप आपकी इफेक्टिव विल बी वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट. सो पीपल हु लैक अथॉरिटी या उनको उतना एम्पावरमेंट नहीं है, उनका दैट इज वेयर पॉलिटिकल एक्यूमेन हैज टू बी वेरी वेरी हाई. सो आई विल गो बैक टू द रिसर्च मॉडल दैट आई शोड यू. आपको मैंने एक स्लाइड में रिसर्च मॉडल दिखाया था अपना, तो वहीं पे वापस जाना पड़ेगा. इफ यू रिमेंबर, आपको दिखाऊं मैं वो दोबारा स्लाइड? यू वांट मी टू शो यू?
Yes, I understood.
Yeah,
But
so
this
that
political acumen, is it basically internal or external? Or
good.
how to define this political acumen?
करेक्ट. सो डेफिनेशन तो वैशाली मैम ने दिया था उसको चैट बॉक्स में, नेविगेटिंग. तो या तो ये एक्सपीरियंस से आएगा. ठीक है. सो और नाउ दिस इज सब्जेक्ट कॉल्ड पॉलिटिकल साइंस. पर पॉलिटिकल साइंस पढ़ के किसी को पॉलिटिक्स नहीं आई. पॉलिटिक्स हम ह्यूमन रिसोर्स मैनेजमेंट में भी पढ़ाते हैं, एचआर में. सो आई थिंक पॉलिटिकल एक्यूमेन इज समथिंग दैट यू लर्न ऑन द जॉब, एंड द बेस्ट वे टू लर्न दिस थिंग इज थ्रू हैविंग एन इफेक्टिव मेंटोर. आपका मेंटोर कौन है करियर के शुरुआत में, आप उनसे बहुत सारी बातें सीखते हो. और पॉलिटिकल एक्यूमेन मुझे लगता है कि अगर आपका मेंटोर बहुत बढ़िया रहा है, कोच, ट्रेनर, मेंटोर बहुत अच्छा रहा है, तो शायद वहां से सबसे इफेक्टिवली, सबसे ड्यूरेबल आपके स्किल्स बनते हैं. आई मीन ये मेरा अपना, दिस इज माय ओन व्यू. आई डोंट थिंक दैट यू कैन टीच. आपको ऐसी कोई किताब नहीं है कि आप पॉलिटिकल एक्यूमेन किसी की बढ़ाओ. इट हैज टू बी ऑन द जॉब. It has to flow from somebody that you look up to.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, I mean, that is my view. I mean, you may agree, disagree. I mean, you can always.
Sir, this political acumen you can get from the past experience, looking at to the past. What
Yeah,
has
absolutely.
happened, past situation.
Yeah. Sukhdev sir, Sukhdev ji, you raised your hand.
Good afternoon, sir. So a few minutes before you asked me the question,
Yeah.
and I lost my connection actually.
No
So what was
problem.
that question?
My question was that, we were discussing, I was asking, क्योंकि आपने ग्रुप पे कुछ आपने चैट बॉक्स में भी डाला था, I was asking what is your leadership style? I mean, जो हमने तो situation leadership बात हुई, what do you have a style or do you have a question or a type of an attribute that you would like to share with the entire group over here?
So normally, as per my experience, I work 24 with the years with the shipping. I realized, like, instead of criticizing anyone, no, we can tell that guy what is the positive points of that particular person, and later on you can tell him it's not a negative, it's a what do you call that? There is a scope of improvement. This way we can explain that guy. Okay, you can improve.
A positive criticism.
That's right, sir.
So publicly endorse, publicly praise people, but when you want to criticize, do it in private.
Right, sir.
और उल्टा नहीं, बहुत सारे लोग उल्टा करते हैं, प्राइवेट
Yes,
में
sir.
तारीफ कर देंगे, पब्लिकली में उसकी बेइज्जती कर देंगे, तो
Exactly.
so you have to be very careful and we all make mistakes.
Yes.
I think as a leader सबसे बहुत important दो चीजें, humility and empathy and the
Yes, sir.
ability to keep learning. So I think
Exactly.
leadership भी effective होती है सिचुएशन के साथ, आप खुद सीखते हो, आप खुद गलती करते हो, एज ए लीडर सीखते रहते हो, मैं तो आज भी सीखता रहता हूँ. I have a very large team in my university. हमारे पास 900 फैकल्टी मेंबर्स हैं, तो we keep learning from different people. Okay, great.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So I think maybe we can, since we don't have more questions, if the coordinator is here, then we can conclude.
Sir, we have a 3:30 again. One class is there. So can we take the break only?
हाँ, मेरा तो हो चुका है. I'm done.
Okay, sir. Then the
somebody from
coordinator, I think, is not there on the line.
कोई कॉल कर दो उनको कॉल करके बोल दीजिए, मैं बोल देता हूँ कॉल करके या तो.
Okay,
Sir,
sir.
hello, sir. I
Yes.
am Vaishali. Hello, sir. You
Hi
asked
विशाली
me a
मैम. हाँ
question.
जी,
Hello,
कहिए.
sir.
जी मैम.
You asked me what is your leadership style.
तो आप गूगल
तो
करके
इसमें सर कॉलेज से ही ज्वाइन किया है तो थोड़ा
Okay, just
question
kidding,
है.
ma'am.
हाँ. Actually, sir, sometimes what happen, we don't have that much of authority. We have that qualities, but ऐसे होता है ना कि वो चांस ही नहीं मिलता. लेकिन कहीं पे जो छोटे छोटे ओकेजन्स होते हैं, जैसे टीचिंग एंड लर्निंग में भी अगर हम, मेरा स्टाइल है कि आई ऑलवेज ट्राई टू बी क्रिएट अ पॉजिटिव लर्निंग एनवायरनमेंट, encourage students and faculty to work together to achieve the shared goals. But समटाइम्स कलीग के साथ भी हम जब वर्क करते हैं तो हमारे एक्सपेक्टेशंस बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं, क्योंकि मेरी वर्क स्टाइल अलग होती है और उनकी काम करने की स्टाइल अलग होती है. तो दैट टाइम समटाइम्स क्या होता है कि वो पॉजिटिव एटमॉस्फेयर नहीं क्रिएट होता है. तो I'm asking you how to deal with such type of the situations actually.
I couldn't understand exactly. आप there's a negative environment, मैं समझा नहीं exactly. Can you repeat briefly again?
Means I am working as an assistant professor. So I'm always trying to create a positive learning environment where the students and faculty can work together to achieve some certain goals. So if I organize some workshop, so that is the opportunity to show me my leadership qualities. But every time I can't expect the positive response or from the opposite side.
So I do. So what I'm trying to say is that, yeah. So I think these are challenges that you will find in every organization.
yeah,
And
yes, sir.
ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में ना मैम दो तरह के ग्रुप्स होते हैं, एक होते हैं फॉर्मल
Yeah.
ग्रुप, एक होता है इनफॉर्मल ग्रुप. फॉर्मल
Yes.
ग्रुप होती है जैसे कमिटी, लेट अस से कि डॉक्टरल रिसर्च कमेटी आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी में आपके कॉलेज में है, वो एक फॉर्मल
Yeah.
ग्रुप.
Yes, sir.
एक होता है इनफॉर्मल ग्रुप. इनफॉर्मल ग्रुप्स जो होते हैं ना, हम कहते हैं ना ग्रुपिज्म, वो छोटे छोटे ग्रुप्स होते हैं. सो आई थिंक दैट इज वेयर अगेन आई रेफर अगेन टू वन लीडरशिप attribute quality which is called political acumen. That is something
Yes.
that you have to keep learning on the job and keep doing the good work and keep one thing in mind. अगर आप अच्छा काम करोगे, चाहे वो गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर है, प्राइवेट सेक्टर है, अच्छा काम करो, you will 100% be recognized sooner or later.
Yes. Oh.
और आज की तारीख में जितने भी यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं, चाहे वो पब्लिक में है या प्राइवेट में है, सो दे आर वेरी परफॉर्मेंस ड्रिवन. आने वाला टाइम बहुत चैलेंजिंग है. अब बिना परफॉर्मेंस के यू कैन नॉट सर्वाइव फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम.
Yes, sir.
So I think you
Yes.
should keep doing the good work, ma'am.
Yes.
And be positive. That's very, very important. You have to
Yeah.
be very, very
Yeah.
positive.
Thank you,
Sir,
sir.
I
That's
have
what
one more
leadership is all about. In leadership, you have to be positive. You don't have an option. Leadership का एक बहुत बड़ी important quality होती है. हर circumstance में you have to be positive.
Sir, I have one more question. Can I?
So please.
Sir, how can leaders foster a culture of accountability without creating a fear or micromanagement?
So I'll give you an example from our university. So what we do is that, जैसे आपके यहाँ भी शायद CAS होता होगा.
Yeah.
तो हम अपने टारगेट्स ना स्टार्टिंग में कम्युनिकेट कर देते हैं. हमारी पब्लिकेशन टारगेट्स है, पेटेंट टारगेट है, कंसल्टेंसी, रिसर्च, टीचिंग आवर्स, असेसमेंट, mentoring. So what you should do, especially in the academia में जो NAC की guidelines है, NAC की guidelines को you should divide the entire outcomes of NAC by the number of faculty members you have, and everybody at their level should know what is expected of them. So सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज आता है जब people do not know what is expected out of them. ये मैंने देखा है बहुत सारी यूनिवर्सिटीज में, प्राइवेट एंड पब्लिक बोथ. फैकल्टी मेंबर को उसको तो ये आपने क्लास दे दी, फिर आपने उसको फिर अगले सेमेस्टर में कोई और क्लास दे दी, पूरा साल कंप्लीट हुआ, फिर आपने उससे पूछा कि आपने तो कोई रिसर्च पेपर पब्लिश ही नहीं किया, हम तो आपको प्रमोट ही नहीं कर सकते. तो वो कहेगा कि मुझे तो किसी ने बताया ही नहीं. सो आई थिंक जब तक आप KRAs को डिफाइन नहीं करते हो, मैंने ऐसे KRA की रिजल्ट एरियाज, जस्ट राइट इट डाउन. की रिजल्ट एरियाज. सो की रिजल्ट एरियाज को डिफाइन करना बहुत जरूरी है. सॉरी, ये ना किसी को डायरेक्ट मैं सबको डाल देता हूँ. की रिजल्ट एरियाज, और ये की रिजल्ट एरियाज शुड बी इन मेट्रिसेस, दे शुड बी मेजरेबल, right? So once you quantify everything, I don't think that there'll be a major issue. So it's about informing your colleagues, your employees, आपकी reporting that these are your KRAs. ये आपको 3 महीने में अचीव करना है, 6 महीने में अचीव करना है, and you don't have to micromanage अगर आप periodic review करोगे. And review could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be monthly, depending on the type of job that has been given. So that is how you run universities. Like as I told you, we have 900 faculty members in our university, and I've achieved, like last year we published 4,800 research papers in Scopus Index. 4,300 पेपर्स हमने पब्लिश किए थे, और 900 फैकल्टी मेंबर है, सबने मिलके किए हैं. हम मीडिया रिव्यू करते हैं एक बार, हम आगे एम्पावर करते हैं उनकी टीम मेंबर्स को कि आपने कोशिश करना कि लोग पब्लिश करें, रिसर्च करें और आउटपुट दें. So that is how we do it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Is there any more questions? Please, anyone.
I think, sir, we can conclude now. There don't seem to be more questions.
Sir, I think there is no more questions, queries, or the discussion in this session. So, shall we sum up? If you could.
Yeah, I think we can, sir. I think we can.
So, on behalf of Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, and Shri Shivaji Science College Amravati, I will extend my sincere thanks to Professor Mittal sir for being with us, enlighten us, and given us the clear-cut roadmap. How should implement these strategies, and how should we get the leadership role of leadership in the in the institutional and the HEIs. So we are really thankful to you for sparing your precious time here and enlighten us, and not enlighten us through the discussion. You have elaborate us how should the leadership will be there, and how should the institution get develop the leadership. We are really thankful to you, sir. And I am also thankful to all the participants for their patience listening and active interaction. And with the kind consent of Professor Mittal sir, I would like to declare that this session will be over here. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So thank you, sir, and thank you, everyone. And God bless us all. And take care of yourself. And wish you all a very happy New Year. And an open offer. आप लोग जब भी इधर आए पंजाब की साइड तो प्लीज वेलकम टू चित्कारा यूनिवर्सिटी. एंड मोहम्मद अतीक सर, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर आपका फॉर गिविंग मी दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी. थैंक यू सर.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Friends, we will continue for the another session that we have scheduled today. Hello, Dr. Arora ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, if you could permit, shall we start with the session?
Yes, sir, we can start.
So friends, good afternoon one and all to this session. As we have discussed with beginning of the session, that today's session has been divided into two different parts. First part we have already almost completed with the leadership, situational leadership, and now we are going with the another part that is the concept of this mentor-mentee. You know that while we are facing towards various assessment or the accreditation, there are n number of concepts that institute has been assessed on the various n number of component and the concepts. And one of the most important concept that is the mentor-mentee ratio, that is the faculty-student ratio or the mentor-mentee ratio, and our Gurukul system that has been designed on the Guru Shishya Parampara. So today we are going to discuss this concept, that is a mentor-mentee concept, and to enlighten us we have with us a very great and eminent personality, Dr. Nidhi Arora ma'am. Ma'am, warm welcome in behalf of the Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University and Shri Shivaji Science College Amravati to this flagship program. We have launched this program in the collaboration with one of our top leading institute, affiliated institute, Shri Shivaji Science College, that is listed in the NRIF ranking also, ma'am, this year. So friends, Professor Nidhi Arora madam is a devoted teacher engaged in the independent research and the teaching for both PG as well as the UG department in the legal studies of Banasthali Vidyapit that is deemed to be university and accredited A++ grade with the NAC. She has done his doctorate on the surrogacy and dissertation on the gender equality, social legal studies. She has chaired two international conferences specifically for the one of dependent upon the women's studies, as well as she has delivered n number of lectures in the various FDPs, various FDPs, workshops and conferences in the national as well as the international institute. She has also visited in the foreign universities for the international conferences. She is a research supervisor, and under his able supervision, 5 students have been awarded working under his able guidance, and 2 students have been awarded with the PhD degree. This is the brief introduction with regards to Professor Arora ma'am. As far as concerned with her academic and administrative responsibilities, she is also the member of the board of studies at Banasthali Vidyapit. She has also acted as a judge at a MOOC code competition organized by the parent university and the other university. So this is a brief introduction with regards to Arora ma'am. Friends, the concept that is the NEP has derived one of the most important objective and achievement goal of the NEP, that is enhancing the GER, that is gross enrollment ratio, up to 50%. by 2035. And to achieve this goal, this concept of mentorship and nurturingship, that is a mentor-mentee concept, is very essential, and mine will enlighten us. Ma'am, I will not take much more time. I will again extend my warm welcome to you and request you to start with your session. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. So let's start with the session. In today's session, we are going to talk about, even we'll see the brief information about NEP, that why NEP was formed, purpose behind having this particular policy, importance of that particular policy, and then we'll move towards the mentor-mentee system, that how the system works, what are kind of or the categories or forms of mentorship is there, and in what area specific mentorship works. So this is all. So today's topic is NEP and mentorship, nurturing student and potential. So before moving with the mentor-mentee system, we'll have an overview of the NEP 2020. So this NEP 2020 is basically a comprehensive framework which was designed to guide the development of education in India from preschool to higher education. Right? And the policy aims to transform the Indian educational landscape to make it more holistic, flexible, multidisciplinary, and very important that it should be aligned with the need of 21st century, because we were having several other policies also before 2020. Then what was the need of this particular policy? The need of this particular policy that we should align with the 21st century's need. That's why we are having this particular policy. Then, and even this policy aimed at bringing out the unique capabilities of each student. That's why we are focusing on the inclusive education, student diversity and inclusive education, because we are going to face a diversity in each and every class, and we cannot eliminate the form of diversity from the class. If you will see NEP, you will see that NEP has focused on the mother tongue, that at least grade 5 or preferably till grade 8 you should use mother tongue vernacular language to ensure better understanding and retention for children. अगर बच्चे को concept समझ में आ रहा है, student is not going to cram the things, they are not going to ratify the things, right? So we should use, or we should put focus on the mother tongue or the vernacular language to explain the concepts at least till grade 8, right? Next, technology integration. NEP कब आया? 2020
Ma'am,
में.
sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Your slide is not visible here, ma'am.
It is not visible.
No, ma'am. No. First of all, it has been shared, but now there is nothing on the screen, ma'am.
So just give me a second.
Yeah, ma'am. Please.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is visible, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
So, technology integration. As we all know that NEP came in 2020, and even till that time, we all were not that well versed with the technology. हम सबको पता था how to use PowerPoint, Word. We can use the technology till our requirement. But when it came in 2020, it was a COVID period. Even being an academician, I have learned several things in respect to the technology integration, that how to use technology for teaching, how to make videos, how to use audio visual form to explain the concepts to the student. So NEP emphasized the use of technology in education, including digital education, online teaching, or digitally equipping schools, teachers, and students. Even NEP has said that if the teachers school is not that well versed with the technology integration, we should arrange a workshops or a seminar to make teacher and school well versed with the technology. Then assessment reforms. NEP even aims to revamp the current assessment system in schools with the new form that encourages understanding and application of knowledge, rather focusing on rote memorization. Now, even it includes board exams with multiple attempts, holistic progress, because NEP has an objective which focuses on the holistic progress of a student. Right. It never focus on their only on academic progress. Right. Then inclusion of funds. The major problem which India face is the funds. We don't have funds. We cannot organize any workshops, seminars, right? And generally, rural areas get affected because of it. So, NEP has set up gender inclusion funds and special education zones for disadvantaged region and groups. Because what is the purpose of forming these funds? That in rural area, if any kind of problem is faced by the government schools, then we can give them funds from funds to that school from these two categories to arrange the workshops and seminars to enhance the knowledge of their teachers. Because being an academician, we teachers are only going to implement the NEP. Merely having a policy is not sufficient. India has a major problem in respect to the implementation. We have several policies, but we always lack in the implementation of that policy. So, who are going to implement NEP? We academicians are going to implement the NEP. Okay. Next, goal of NEP. What is the goal of this particular NEP? First goal of NEP is inclusivity and diversity. To ensure education is accessible to all segments of society without any kind of discrimination. And even NEP emphasizing creating equitable learning opportunities for each and every student. Right? Because we have to address the need of diverse population, and that diverse population even includes marginalized and disadvantaged groups. Quality education for all. We have to elevate the quality of education across all levels by revamping curriculum, pedagogy, assessment method, and teacher training. Presently, what is the traditional method of giving the assessment? What we do? We generally give a topic to the student and ask them to write anything on that particular topic, or we ask them to give the presentation or whatever. Right. Fine. If you are asking them to write anything on that particular topic, students are very smart. They will use Google, they will use AI to do the assignments. What being a teacher we have to do? We have to give the different forms of assignment, and that nature of that assignment should be the practical nature, so that we can analyze that whether student is able to make the knowledge practically applicable whatever we have taught the student in the class. And never assess all the student on a single form of assignment. For an example, if you have asked the student to write a research paper, so it is not necessary that each and every student has a good writing skills. Some student might be good in giving the oral presentation. Some may be good in giving audiovisual presentations. Right? So you should give a different forms of assignment to the student and ask them to choose from them. Then universal access to education. If you are going to see the Constitution of India, Part 3 of the Constitution talks about the fundamental rights of the citizen, and right to education is one of the fundamental right. So when there is a fundamental right with us, you cannot discriminate on the basis of caste, color, creed, sex ratio, etc. Socio-economic factor, किसी भी basis पे आप discriminate नहीं करेंगे, because that is a fundamental right of each and every citizen. So to achieve 100% youth and adult literacy rate, which is not possible at a first instance, right? But we have to take small steps towards it, and we have to bring back dropouts into the mainstream education system. How we'll analyze that we are working in a right direction to achieve 100% youth and adult literacy rate? That is only possible if we are able to reduce the dropouts from the education system. With the help of that, you can analyze that yes, we are moving in a right direction. Promoting multilingualism, as earlier I have said that we have to focus on a mother tongue or a regional language, preferably till grade 8, to enhance learning effectiveness and cultural pride. Importance of NEP. So first is social equity. By making education inclusive, because yes, there is a diversity in the class, but if we are making education inclusive and somehow we are focusing or we are promoting on the social equity, so NEP aims to bridge the education and social gap. There is a huge gap between the education sector and social gap because there are different categories in the society. And again, we are having a traditional mindset while giving an education to the children. So that gap should be bridged, and NEP is focusing on that, right? And if we able to bridge that gap, definitely what we are doing, we are promoting the social equity. Then economic growth. If we are preparing a skilled workforce, right? There's a diverse and inclusive education system, and that diverse and inclusive education will help in preparing a skilled workforce, which will drive towards innovation, creativity, and definitely that is going to support the major global economy. Then national cohesion. Diversity can be basis on culture, language, economic aspect, but education that respect and incorporate diversity on different basis, that will definitely foster national unity and sense of belongingness among all sections of society, right? If we'll try to teach them that you have to consider the diversity as an asset, not as a barrier, definitely there will be a national unity and sense of belongingness among all the sectors of society. Then global competitiveness. That in starting we have seen that what was the need of NEP, that we have to align with the need of 21st century, and global competitiveness is one of the need. So by adopting global best practice in education and ensuring that all children can access high quality education regardless of their background, India enhances its effectiveness on the world stage, right? So we have seen a comprehensive understanding of the NEP, highlighting its focus on transforming education through inclusivity and diversity, and which are pivotal for fostering an equitable society and propelling India toward a prosperous future. Now, there are two concepts: diversity and inclusivity. When we talk about the diversity in education, so that can be on the basis of cultural diversity. You will see in your class that the students are from different cultures. So recognizing and respects unique culture background and traditions that students bring to the classroom is very important. Than linguistic diversity, it involves the presence of multiple languages and dialects among the students because they are from the different regions. And if we are going to consider it as an asset, definitely it will enrich the learning environment. Then socio-economic diversity pertain to students coming from varied economic backgrounds, influencing their experiences and perspectives. Last is some different form of diversity, that is diverse learning needs, as each and every student in the class is not same. Capability of each and every student in the class is different. And being a teacher, we have to analyze that capabilities. So including different learning abilities and styles requiring adaptive educational strategies. As earlier I told you that because the capability of each and every student is not same, and if we are going to judge them on a same platform in the same form of assignment, then somehow that is not justice with each and every student. So what being a teacher we have to do, we have to include different learning abilities and styles in our teaching method. Then benefits of diverse education environment. As I have told you that we have to look it into as an asset, not as a barrier. So when we are looking into as an asset, definitely we'll focus on what? We'll focus on benefits. First, enhance learning experience. See, because of diversity, there will be a rich classroom discussions. Diverse perspectives will lead to a richer discussions, fostering a deeper understanding of the subject matter and promoting the critical thinking. See, merely doing the rote memorization or cramming the things will not serve the purpose, because any institution, their educational institution, the purpose of educational institution is never to provide an employment. The purpose of each educational institution is to make them students employable. We have to give the skilled workforce, not to provide an employment. That is not our duty. So if we want to make them employable, we have to teach them that how to use the theoretical knowledge in a practical way. Practical implementation of the theoretical knowledge. Right? Then preparation for a global workforce. Students develop skills to work effectively and efficiently in increasingly globalized industry. So because of that, there will be a global competitiveness. Adaptability skills will be developed among these students after seeing diverse classmates, how they are preparing. Then increase creativity in problem solving skills. A blend of diverse views will definitely leads to more creative and comprehensive solution to problems, right? They will develop innovative thinking among the students, because they are interacting with people from different backgrounds, stimulates out of the box thinking and innovation, right? So these are the some benefits of a diverse educational environment. Now, another concept is in respect to inclusive education. How we are going to define the inclusivity? It is simply based on one principle, a core principle, and it is very easy, which I was saying earlier also. It is based on the principle of acceptance and inclusion of all students. And that is how students see their differences as assets, not as a barrier to success. Right? And then only we can say that there is an inclusive education. So basically, inclusive education is an approach where every student, regardless of their background, abilities, or disabilities, are placed in a age proportionate general education classes. Then we can say that there is an inclusive education. Okay. There are certain significance of an inclusive education. Social justice. It is rooted in the right to education. Whenever we talk about inclusive education, it is rooted in the right to education for all, because it is one of the fundamental right. Because we are advocating for equal opportunities for all students. We have to eliminate the discrimination from that. And this approach supports the dismantling of barriers to learning and participation, which is actively combating discrimination and promoting an educational culture of respect and sense of belongingness than equality. Whenever we are talking about fundamental rights or equal opportunities for all these students, the principle of equality is there. By adapting the learning environment so that it responds to the diversity of students around them, inclusive education upholds the value of equality among all the students. Okay? And whenever we talk about the principle of equality, being a teacher, we have to customize even our teaching strategies or taking the assessment method to do the justice with the student. Economic efficiency. If we are giving a skilled workforce to the society, we are educating students, inclusively enhancing their potential to become a productive member of the society. We are directly contributing to what? We are directly contributing to economic development. Automatically, will reduce the dropout. It will reduce dropout rates or increase employment rates. So, for it is fostering a more inclusive society. Then community impact. Whenever we talk about the community impact, inclusive education fosters a sense of community and belonging because there is a diversity on the basis of language and culture in the class. And we have to build a social cohesion among the students, which is very essential in a diverse society like India. We say that there is a unity in diversity. India के लिए use होता है. So basically, we have to prepare all students for adult life in an inclusive society in which people are from different backgrounds and different abilities live and work together, because the concept of diversity is applicable on each and every stage of life, because you are going to face it. Next is role of mentorship. Right. Now we are moving towards our second aspect, that is mentorship. Today we are going to focus especially on supporting individual student, a critical component of NEP, and that aims to personalize education while focusing on each and every student. And this approach basically recognizes that each student is unique and requires specific support to thrive academically and personally. So when we talk about mentoring, right, role of mentorship in NEP inclusive education agenda. So mentoring of students, how we will define the mentoring, right? Is providing an academic guidance will only be considered as a mentoring? I would like to know from the participants that how you are going to define mentoring. That if you are providing the academic guidance to the student, will you consider that as a mentoring? Yes.
Peer learning.
Peer learning. Okay. Anything else? Anyone else would like to say anything? Because I think you all are academicians only. Okay. So mentoring is more than just academic guidance. See, providing an academic guidance is our primary duty. To teach the student is our primary duty. So it is about inspiring and supporting students to excel beyond the classroom. Right? It is not necessary that each and every student needs mentoring only in the academic guidance. Right? So it is beyond the that we have to excel the students beyond the classrooms. Merely providing academic guidance will not considered as mentoring. right? So in today's session, we'll explore that how structured mentor-mentee system can be developed and implemented effectively within our schools or colleges, because this NEP is applicable from school to education in an universal manner, right? And even we'll understand the dynamic of building strong supportive relationship between mentor mentee. We'll focus on building good rapport between mentor mentee, because this mentor mentee system is completely based on what? Based on fiduciary relationship which is based on trust, right? So mentor mentee should have a good rapport. Then we'll talk about remedial teachings, that this approach is going to benefit the students. It will ensure that all students can achieve their potential regardless of their starting point, right? And even we'll look into the aspect of positive attitudinal development, that how to foster a positive attitude among the students. And not only students, positive attitude of mentor is also very important to overcome the challenges and achieve the success. Because while having a mentor-mentee system, you are going to face a different forms of challenges. It is not necessary that the challenges will be same for each and every mentor-mentee relationship, right? So for that, we need a positive attitudinal development. The role of mentoring in education. So when we talk about mentoring in education, बहुत layman language में बताती हूँ, who will be a mentor? More knowledgeable or more experienced person can be a mentor, and less experienced or less knowledgeable person will be a mentee, right? It is very clear. It is not necessary that within the ambit of more experienced, more knowledgeable person is only the teachers, right? So what mentor do? Mentor provide guidance, share resources, offer emotional and social support to the students so that they can excel in their personal and professional life, right? So there are different forms of mentoring. If we see peer mentoring, faculty to student mentoring, or professional experts mentoring students. So with the help of these forms of mentoring, we can understand that mentor can be a peer, mentor can be a faculty, any professional expert can be a mentor, your senior can be a mentor, even mentor can be from same class also. Because I have used the word more experienced and more knowledgeable person, right? And mentoring is a very versatile educational tool, right? And it plays a very crucial role in nurturing the students' academic and personal growth. And it not only involves the academic guidance, it involves support, encouragement provided by the more knowledgeable and experienced person to the less experienced learner. So when we talk about peer mentoring, see, peer mentoring involves students mentoring each other. They may be slightly older, means senior, and they may be from the same class. But if any person is having some extra knowledge or extra experience, then he or she can be a mentor. But there are different forms of mentoring, and there are different areas on which these mentorings will work, right? Each and every mentoring cannot be work for all the purpose. So peer mentoring can be organized within the same academic progress or across different years, right? So what will be the target need of this form of mentoring? In academic support, peer mentor often helps with study skills, time management, understanding course material. तो वहाँ peer mentoring help करेगी. Social integration. If some new student has joined the school, so new or younger students benefit from peer mentors. How in adapting to the school environment, which can be critical for their social and emotional adjustment. Role modeling, they will see their peer success, and that success can be highly motivating for mentees. So on certain areas, certain targets, peer mentoring will work. Okay. Then faculty to student mentoring. So when we talk about faculty to student mentoring, that is the formal relationship through the structured program, right? Developing through regular interaction in academic settings. And what will be the target need? Career guidance. Faculty mentor provide advice on academic pathways, career options, and further studies. Second, research opportunities is one of the target where the faculty to student mentoring will work. As you all somehow, many of you will be supervisor for the thesis work for any research project or publication. So that is a research opportunity. Personal development, faculty mentor can offer support on personal development, helping students navigate challenges that may affect their academic life. So these are the certain targets where faculty to student mentoring will work. Then professional expert mentoring system, mentoring students. So this form of mentoring, where we talk about the professional expert, they are from various industries, not from your own institution, right? And this is also the formal program which is arranged by the educational institution, right? They are not typically the part of your the school staff, but they are professionals in the fields related to the students' area of study, right? So this form of mentoring, when we talk about the professional expert mentoring, it has a certain target needs such as industry insights. It will give a real world perspective to students on working in any specific sector, and this is very valuable for career planning. Skill development, they'll focus on practical skills, knowledge that are directly applicable in the professional settings. It will help students in internship programs, job opportunities, or career mentoring. Means you will able to build your network, right? So this were the different forms of mentoring, and each form of mentoring serves distinct purpose and address different stages of students' education and personal development, right? So the primary goal is to enhance academic performance. We have to reduce the dropout rates and develop competent behavior. Confidence should be boosted, and we have to give the skilled workforce. Importance of mentoring in promoting inclusivity and diversity. We have seen that what is mentoring, who can be a mentor, and different forms of mentorships. But sorry, what is the importance of mentoring when we focus on inclusive education and student diversity? First, it will foster a sense of belongingness. Students from diverse backgrounds feel valued and understood within the educational community. There will be an active participation of the students, integration of the students will be there. Then addressing unique challenges. Mentor can customize their support to address the specific cultural, educational, and socio-economic challenges faced by mentee. Because on the basis of diversity also, you need to mentor the students. If any of the student is having a feeling of isolation because of any kind of diversity, then you have to mentor the student. So this personalized support is key in leveling the playing field and helping all students in achieving their potential. Role modeling. Mentors serve as a role model and provide a roadmap for navigating the academic environment. And this is going to empower students from underrepresented or disadvantaged background. That's how the mentoring promotes inclusivity and diversity. Now, certain recommendations have been given by the NEP for mentorship programs. What are those recommendations? First, NEP has talked about institutional framework. NEP emphasizes the establishment of structured mentorship program within education institution so that we can systematically support each and every student. And this includes integrating mentorship into their curriculum, providing even training to the mentors. Each and every person cannot be a mentor. Certain skills are required to being a mentor. For that, we have to provide the training to the mentors for being a mentor. Then, quality and accessibility. The policy calls for high quality mentorship that is accessible to all these students regardless of their background. So special attention is given to ensure that marginalized and differently able students receive adequate mentorship program, and for which if fund is the problem, we have seen that we have two categories of funds. We have seen in the inclusion of funds, we can take the funds from that categories. Then continuous evaluation and adaptation. Merely providing the mentorship once to the mentee will not serve the purpose. If you think, fine, you have guided that particular student or guided your mentee once and you have done with your job. No. It is the continuous process until the objective has been achieved. So NEP recommends regular assessment of mentorship programs to ensure that that program is working effectively and efficiently, and it is meeting the evolving need of students. And now what method we can opt? Only feedback mechanism is the process through which we can analyze that particular program. Then building professional capacities. NEP encourages continuous professional development for mentors to enhance their mentor skills. Even training will be provided to the mentors, and understanding their mentees' diverse background is very important. And even mentors have to stay updated with the latest educational practices and technologies. Right? These are the certain recommendations given by the NEP. Now, how to establish a mentor-mentee system? We have seen that what is mentor-mentee system, but we have to establish the structured framework for it, right? So there are certain key components of an effective mentor-mentee system. First, if structured framework. When we talk about the structured framework, what all aspects will be included in the structured framework? First of all, that framework should clearly outline the roles and responsibility of both mentor and mentee. There should not be any kind of confusion or hassle into it. Even that structured framework includes clear objectives, expected outcomes, and the duration of the mentorship program. Then matching process. Whether each and every mentor can guide for each and every problem? No. Specializations are there. So effective matching of mentors and mentee based on their shared interest, their career goals, or educational needs to enhance the compatibility and the potential for success outcomes. Basis of shared interest and career goals, you are going to do the matching process of mentor and mentee. That if any student approaches to any person, that that student is facing some kind of problems, he needs a mentor, then you have to see the list of mentor and you have to see the shared interest and career goals before allotting the mentor to the mentee. Then training of mentors, providing comprehensive training for mentor so that they are equipped them with the necessary skills and knowledge which is required for the effective and efficient working of the mentor mentee program. So this training will cover communication skills, sensitivity training, methods to identify and address the specific need of mentee. Right? Even they will teach you about the fiduciary relationship. Okay? Then continuous support and monitoring. So regular check-ins and support from the institution to ensure the mentor-mentee relationship is productive is very important. If you have allotted the mentor to the mentee, but when you are taking a feedback from the mentor and mentee both in an individual manner and you analyze that is not productive relationship, then immediately there is a need to change the mentor. Right? So when we talk about continuous support and monitoring, merely providing a guidance for the first time will not serve the purpose. You have to stick to that relationship until you achieve your common objective. Right? Then there are certain steps to implement a mentor-mentee system in your education institution, because NEP is focusing on what? NEP is focusing on the structured framework, formal relationship. So we have to, the first step will be defining the objective and scope. We have to establish clear goals for the mentorship program, and that goals should align with the educational objective of your institution. While defining clear goals for the mentorship program, you cannot ignore the educational objective of your institution. Determining the scope includes which student group will be targeted, what outcomes are expected, all these things should be defined. Then develop a mentor pool. Now, what is mentor pool? We have to identify the potential mentors, and those mentors can be from the faculty members, alumni, senior students, professional experts, anyone. And we have to ensure that a diverse mentor pool is there to cater to the varied needs of mentee, because there will be different problems to the student is going to face different challenges. So we have to analyze, or we have to make the mentor pool a qualitative mentor pool. We should not increase the mentor pool in quantity only. That should be the quality mentor. Train mentors, conduct training session to prepare mentor for their roles, focus on building effective communication skills. Empathy should be there. Mentoring skills should be there. For that, we have to provide the trainer to. We have to provide training to the mentors. Match mentor mentee. Use a systematic approach to match mentor and mentee based on their earlier identified criteria, such as shared interest, career goals, right? To ensure compatibility and maximize the impact of mentoring. If proper matching process has been done, then definitely that is going to work effectively and efficiently. Then you can officially start the mentorship program with an introductory session, but always keep in mind that in an introductory session, you are not going to judge the mentee. Right? Allow mentor and mentee to meet and set initial expectations. And the objective of both mentor and mentee mentee, the goal of both mentor and mentee should be same. Then monitor and evaluate. Regularly monitor the progress of the mentor-mentee relationship and evaluate the impact of the program. And if there is a need after evaluating the program, adjust the program as necessary based on feedback and outcomes. Right? Then, whenever we are going to start something new, we are going to face some challenges. Right? So, challenges in setting up a mentor-mentee system, there will be a specific challenge which a mentor is going to face, right, while dealing with the mentee. But when we talk about the challenges, those specific challenges cannot be dealt because that is according to the facts and circumstances. But there are some generalized challenges. First challenge can be ensuring commitment. So mentor and mentee may have a different level of commitment, right? And if they are having a different level of commitment, that mentor-mentee relationship cannot be a productive mentor-mentee relationship. So what solution can be there for this particular challenge? Mentor-mentee has to set a clear expectations and formal agreement to ensure sustained engagement, provide recognition and incentives for active participation. That can be a solution. Then second challenge can be a matching challenge. Difficulty in matching mentors and mentee effectively, which can lead to an unproductive relationship. So we have solution for such challenges. Use a comprehensive matching process that consider multiple factors such as interest, career goals, and personalities. And then also, if you find that it is an unproductive relationship, allow for rematching if the initial pairing is not successful or it is an unproductive relationship. Then resource constraints. If limited resources can affect the quality and reach of the mentorship program, again, we have an option to it. Leverage technology integration to facilitate virtual mentorship sessions. Seek partnerships with industry professionals, alumni to expand the mentor pool without significant financial investment. Then challenge 4, measuring impact. Difficulty in assessing the effectiveness of the mentorship program. That how to measure it. For that, you have to develop a clear metrics and regular evaluation intervals should be decided to measure progress and impact of that particular mentorship program. And for that, you should use feedback from both mentor and mentee to continually refine the program. So by addressing these components and challenges, educational institution can effectively implement a mentor-mentee system that supports the individual development of student. It will give sense of belongingness in them, fostering an environment of growth and learning, which aligns with the goal of national education policy. Next, building mentor-mentee rapport. How to build a good mentor-mentee rapport? Because it is very important. Because if they are not having a good rapport, mentee is not going to discuss each and every problem in detail with the mentor, because there is not the feeling of trust. So that should be there. So when the word rapport is used, how to define it? Repo between a mentor-mentee, it basically refers to a positive, trusting relationship that facilitates open communication and enhance mutual understanding between mentor and mentee. That is how repo is defined whenever we are talked about the repo in respect to the mentor-mentee relationship. So, establishing a strong repo is crucial. Why? For the effectiveness of any mentoring relationship. It helps in providing personalized support and foster a safe environment where mentee feel encouraged to express their concern and aspirations. If they don't feel encouraged to express their concern and aspiration, you cannot come to the conclusion or you cannot achieve your final goal. So there are certain techniques and strategies to build a strong rapport. First, active listening. You should be a good listener or an active listener. You should not judge the student. So, mentor should practice active listening, showing genuine interest in the mentee's thoughts and feelings. And this involves not just hearing the words, but also understanding the emotions and intentions behind them. And then come to the common goal, common objective which you want to achieve. Empathy. Demonstrating empathy involves understanding and sharing the feeling of another person, which helps in building a deeper connection and trust. When we talk about the empathy, we talk about the fiduciary relationship. Consistency should be there. Regular and predictable meetings helps in establishing reliability and structure, which are important for building trust and rapport. If there is no consistency between the mentor and mentee, regular and predictable meetings are not there, then sense of belongingness plus the trust will not be there. Then personalized interactions should be there, and being a mentor, you have to customize your mentoring approach. Same mentoring approach is not going to work on each and every mentorship relationship, right? आपको अपने अप्रोच को कस्टमाइज करने की जरूरत है as per the need and the personality of the mentee. And this might involve that adjusting communication style, feedback methods, and the pace of mentoring session. These things need to be customized as per the need and personality of the mentee. Then setting mutual goals. Work together to set achievable goals, and this collaborative process empowers mentee and aligns both parties on common objective. But if both the parties are not having a common objective, then they cannot reach to the conclusion or they cannot attain the objective. That is an unproductive relationship. Positive reinforcement. Encourage and celebrate small success to build confidence or to boost the confidence among the mentee and motivate the mentee. Don't wait for achieving the goal. If small step has been taken towards achieving the common objective or a common goal, try to recognize it. Right? So these are the certain techniques which we can opt. Then what kind of impact of good repo on student will be there? If there's a good rapport between mentor and mentee, what kind of impact on student will be there? First, academic improvement. Students with mentors who they feel close to are more likely to perform well academically. Why? Due to the personalized guidance and increased motivation. Then, emotional and social benefits. Strong rapport can lead to greater emotional stability, reduce anxiety, and a better ability to cope with academic and social pressures. Long-term relationships. These relationships can last beyond the educational settings, providing ongoing professional and personal support. Consistency should be there, regular meetings should be there. Right? Then case study. Always discuss with the students regarding the improve mentor-mentee repo, or where there is a good mentor-mentee repo. And this will encourage the students to share the problems with the mentors, because you will see that many of the students never come forward to discuss their problems because of the hesitation, right? So if you are going to discuss with the students certain case studies where there is a good rapport between the mentor and mentee, then that is going to encourage the students, emphasizing the transformational power of effective mentoring, that how the effective mentoring works, what changes you have seen, right? So by focusing on these key areas, we have seen a comprehensive overview of how building strong mentor-mentee rapport can substantially enhance the mentoring experience and can lead to better education and personal outcome for students. Remedial teaching strategies. So remedial teaching, basically it refers to again there are two aspects. One thing is what student knows, another aspect what they are expected to know, and there is a huge gap between these two, what student knows and what they are expected to know. And to bridge the to close the gap between what student know and what they are expected to know is a remedial teaching. अगर बहुत layman language में समझे तो. So remedial teaching basically refers to instructional programs designed to close the gap between what student knows and what they are expected to know. It focuses on providing additional support to help students who are struggling to meet the standard academic level in various subjects. So this approach is particularly important in diverse classrooms where students may have a disparate educational backgrounds, learning disabilities, or other challenges that affect their learning process. So remedial teaching ensures that all students have access to the resources and support they need to succeed academically, and thereby it promotes the equity within the education system. Remedial, there are different remedial teaching methods. First is diagnostic teaching. If you go to the doctor, what doctor do first? Doctor diagnose your problem and then doctor treats to you, right? So same thing we have to follow here. Begin with identifying specific learning gap and difficulties. Teachers use assessment to determine individual student need and then customize the instructional approaches, right? So that is only the way. Only with the help of assessment you will able to determine the need of student and will able to identify the specific learning gap and difficulties. And then once you have diagnosed it, then treat it. Next is differentiated instructions. As I told you, there is diversity in the class. So same form of instruction will not work for the student. So teacher should create a varied paths to learning so that each student can learn in the manner that suits them best. This may include varied assignments, adapted equipments, or different teaching strategies. Then use of technology. See, if you are teaching in a class, that may not have that much effect. If you are using or you are opting for a audio visual mode of teaching, that will have a huge impact, right? So you have to incorporate educational technology such as interactive software, online resources that reinforce learning content and engage students in new ways. Technology can offer personalized learning experiences essential for remedial education. Then peer tutoring, involving pairing or grouping students together for tutoring sessions. Always keep in mind, if you are opting for any tutoring session or you are giving an assignment in a group, never allow students to form a group. What they will do, they will choose their friends, right, whom they are comfortable. All groups should always be formed by the teacher, and that group should consist of below average student, good student, and outstanding student, outstanding performer in the class, right? If group is formed in such a way, then definitely each and every student is going to learn something from each other. This method leverages peer interactions to assist underperforming students while reinforcing the tutor's mastery of the subject. Okay? Small group sessions can be conducted, and this setting can be less intimidating and more supportive for students who need some extra help. Okay? I will just take an example. This is a hypothetical situation I'm taking. If there is any school, urban public school, and we have diagnosed the problem. What is the problem? That in that school, high percentage of students are performing below grade level in, for an example, in economics, right? That is the problem, that high percentage of students are performing below grade level in economics. Diagnosis has been done, right? Now what we can do? Now, what solution can be there? What remedy can be there? Now, introduction of a comprehensive after-school remedial program should be conducted, featuring diagnostic assessments, technology-assisted learning modules. And if you are continuously for 1 year, if you have opted for it, after-school remedial program, you will see that there is an significant improvement in economic score within one academic year. It increased the student confidence, higher engagement levels are there, right? This is, I have taken a single example in respect to it. Right? Fostering positive attitudinal development. How importance of positive attitude development in educational success. First, foundation for learning. A positive attitude is crucial in education because it enhances motivation, engagement, and persistence. And motivation, engagement, and persistence is very essential for academic success. Right? Students with a positive outlook, you will see they are more likely to embrace challenges, persist in the face of difficulties, and view their failures as an opportunity to learn. Right? Then emotional and psychological health. Positive attitude contributes to better stress management, lowers the rate of depression, and overall better mental health, which can significantly affect the student's ability to perform academically. Because generally, what students do in present time, they start comparing with others. Right? Long-term impacts. Developing a positive attitude from the school years, this can set the groundwork for lifelong success, influencing career trajectories, personal relationships, and the ability to adapt to change. Because they are going to face change at each and every stage of their life. Then strategies for mentors to cultivate positivity and resilience in student. That is also important. How to cultivate it? What strategies we can opt for? Modeling positive behavior. Mentors can lead by example by demonstrating a positive outlook, resilience in overcoming their personal challenges, and a persistence effort towards goal. Right? And that can be done with the help of role model for students. Role model can be from their own class. It can be any other person. Encouragement and recognition. Regularly encourage students' efforts and achievement. No matter how small achievement was that. Positive behavior should be there, and that will boost their self-esteem. Always focus on the efforts of the student and growth. Never focus on the outcome. You should always encourage, or you should focus on efforts and growth of that particular student, and not on the outcome. Then building a growth mindset. Teach students to have a growth mindset by emphasizing that abilities and intelligence can be developed with effort, learning, and persistence. Right? If there is a consistency, there is a regularity, definitely you will able to achieve your goal without any kind of issues. And you have to consider challenge as a learning opportunity, not as a barrier. As earlier I have told you that you have to consider your challenges, diversity as an asset or as a learning opportunity, instead of what? Instead of considering them as a barrier. Then resilience training workshops. Implement programs and workshops that teach resilience skills, including stress management, goal settings, how to handle a failure. Such skills help students manage their academic and personal challenges effectively. Then interactive session on real life scenario where positive attitude impacted students' achievement. See, whenever we talk about the interaction, you should briefly present a few case studies where a positive attitude significantly impacted the students. Academic and personal achievement both. Right? And these could include stories of students overcoming substantial personal and academic challenges. You can conduct group discussions, sharing sessions, जहाँ पे they have overcome their problem in very effective and efficient way. So these things will definitely going to work. Now, being an academicians, we have very limited time, right? Students are with teachers till 9 to 3 or 9 to 4. And our primary duty is what? Our primary duty is to provide them the knowledge to complete our course or to teach them. Right? So how to get an extra time for mentoring? It will affect our primary duty. Right? So in that case, we should integrate mentoring into our daily activities, and how that can be done. That is very important. Scheduled mentors should be there. Designate specific time during the school week, which can be known as mentor hour, where student can meet their mentors. They can discuss their academic progress, personal challenges, and future goals. But the mentor hour can be a duration which is less intensive period, such as after lunch or last period of the day. Then embed mentoring in classroom activities. Regularly invite role models from various professions to speak in classroom, and always try to link those sessions with career guidance or real world applications of learning, so that it helps them in academic guidance also. Then implement a peer mentoring system where older students mentor younger ones, promoting leadership skills and a supportive school culture. Right? Then mentorship across the curriculum. Use projects that require mentorship roles where mentor or guide the mentees, and always try to please mute your mic, and always try to focus on interdisciplinary projects. Encourage students to link concept across different subjects, enhance integrative thinking and learning, so that they are able to do the brainstorming. Right? Creative thinking will be there. Regular progress reviews. Structured feedback should be there. Mentors provide structured feedback on both the academic and extracurricular activities of the mentee, which will definitely going to help the student in their learning and personal growth. Again, there should be a consistency, and that consistency should be maintained during the mentors hour, right? Because we don't have an extra time, no? And regular session to set short-term goal or long-term goal with the mentor should be planned. And once that goal should be there, you can ask for the feedback. Whoever is there, please mute your mic, or I will request the organizers to remove that participant. Then group activities should be conducted. Design a mentoring plan. Participants should be divided in small groups. Give them weekly tasks or monthly tasks to do, and always give a hypothetical situations to them, so that they can understand the applicability of whatever you have taught them in the class, whatever theoretical knowledge have been provided by you in that hypothetical situation. Then each group should consider the school sizes. As I told you earlier, that we have to see that group consists of what? Group should consist of below average, average, outstanding performer, so that they learn something from each other. Then feedback session on proposed plans. Allow each group a few minutes to present their plan. Encourage participants to offer constructive feedback on each plan, focusing on feasibility, creativity, and comprehensiveness. And in last, discuss how the plans could be adjusted or improved based on the feedback received. And with the help of this, student will have a feeling of inclusivity. Right? So in such a way, we can work or we can integrate mentoring in our day-to-day routine. Thank you from my side. Now it is open for questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for such a wonderful session. Participants, the session is open for the discussion now. If you have any queries or the questions, you can directly ask to Dr. Arora, ma'am. Please, anyone.
Definitely, you all are facing some problem, because I think you all are academicians here, right? So being an academician, we face such problems. So if anyone would like to share even their problem, what they are facing, please share.
Recording in progress.
Is there anyone?
Yes, anyone has any queries or the question?
Yes, ma'am. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, ma'am, please continue.
Yes.
Is there reservation policy in NEP?
No, there's no reservation. See, reservation policy. If I say you that I told you that we are focusing on what? We are focusing on student diversity and inclusive education, right? We are facing a diversity on the basis of socio-economic factor. We are facing a diversity on the basis of culture, language, right? So again, if we are going to keep any kind of reservation, how we can say that there is an inclusive education? And even right to an education is a fundamental right of each and every student, yes, sorry, each and every citizen. So there is no kind of reservation in the NEP in respect to because we are focusing on what? We are focusing on the student diversity and inclusive education. So for this mentor-mentee system, there is no kind of reservation.
No, madam. I am a student of PhD. So
Okay.
when student admitted, then that time reservation is there or not? For filling
What kind of reservation you are talking about?
for students.
That whether the mentor will be given to a PhD student or not?
PhD student or graduate, undergraduate students.
No such kind of reservation is there.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Ma'am, I think there is no more questions. So if you could permit, shall we conclude the session, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, we can conclude.
Yeah. So on behalf of the Malvi Mission Teacher Training Center, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, and Shri Shivaji Science College, Amravati, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude towards Dr. Arora ma'am for being with us, enlighten us, and share her precious time in spite of her busy schedule, and enlighten us on such an important and the crucial topic that will be very essential in our teaching learning process. So we are really thankful to you, ma'am. I also like to extend my sincere thanks to all the participants for their patience listening and interactive participation during the interaction. And on behalf of MMTTC and the Shri Shivaji Science College, with the consent of Dr. Arora ma'am, I would like to declare that this session will be over here. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And all the best for the future to each and every participant. And I would like to extend my gratitude to the director, sir, for giving me this opportunity to share my views on the topic, which is a need for an hour. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.